right, so this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the Boxing Debate Arena. Monday show, we're going to be talking about what transpired this past weekend and also about the potential Canelo-Crawford fight that apparently is almost done from what I'm reading. So we're going to be opening the phone lines and we're going to be asking the question, do you want to see this fight and who do you think would win? All right, so we have... Oh, wait, shout out to everybody in the chat first. The Fighting Marine in the chat, J.A., Champy, JumpTube, Ali Berges, Gonzalo, Alfredo Contreras, yeah, the Quacks. By the way, guys, for the donations, so since we don't have super chats until like the end of the month, we're using Buy Me a Coffee, and I set up an alert. So you're gonna see it pop up on your screen if anybody donates. The link is in the chat and in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to Patreon for free content. You can subscribe for free, and you can also donate via Patreon. All right, let's get this party started. BDA and Gonzalo. Oh, Gonzalo called in on Saturday on the post-fight show, so he already gave us his take on the fight. Did you guys rewatch the fight? Did you manage to watch it again? I didn't watch it.
No, not interested in, because I pretty much, the first time I saw it, I captured all that I needed to process.
Yeah, some people are discussing about the knockdown, whether it was a real knockdown or not. I don't know if you guys want to comment on that. I don't think that it's that important, but some people think it is.
Well, I kind of mentioned that.
Yeah.
It could have been that he was going to go down, but sometimes it's because he's squared up. So he kind of brings it onto his own, to himself. But at the same time, no, it was kind of the other guy's fault because he's just there to get tripped up.
Mm-hmm. Handsome Mechanic says it wasn't a knockdown. It was not a knockdown, okay? Well, regardless, I mean, I think he won the fight. David, which David? David Benavidez won the fight, and let's go to the predictions. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I got my prediction correct. Gonzalo says Benavidez 9-3, but suffers a knockdown. Oh, he said he would suffer maybe 2 knockdowns. You got it right. Wait, what
I said a knockdown or 2.
Yeah,
1 or 2. But anyway,
he did go down though. So you got that. I mean, it was close, very close. What was the score? The scorecards. I thought I wrote the scorecards. 115, 111, 118, 111, 118, 108. No, sorry, 115, 111, 115, 111, 181. What do you guys think about that 118, 108 card? I mean, it's basically they gave 2 rounds to Morrell. Does that make any fucking sense?
Yeah. 2 rounds, yeah, that's possible.
I give him
he got the knockdown, which wasn't a knockdown, but then they deducted a point. So if you only gave him 2 rounds, that's okay.
I don't know. I didn't score it, to be honest. But it was like maybe a 7-5. That makes sense, in my opinion. BDA, what do you think?
I don't know, man. I think 118, or whatever it was, I think it's a little bit too wide. But then again, I mean, there were a lot of moments where Morrell was just shelling up, waiting for Benavidez to finish throwing punches so he could catch him. So maybe, sometimes I remember when Marquez and Barrera fought, it was a close competitive fight throughout. Even the rounds that Marquez won, for example, Barrera was always right there and vice versa. One judge, I think, had 119, 1 or something. People were saying that was disgusting, but I'm thinking, is it possible that even in a competitive fight, one judge can keep choosing one guy to get all the rounds? Maybe he just does something that judge likes, and he keeps giving him those rounds. So it's possible here, but I understand why people are up in arms about that card because it doesn't reflect how competitive the fight was.
Yeah, that's possible. It was competitive for sure, but I think it's clear who won that fight. Not controversial at all. The Quack says I gave Morrell 4 rounds. That makes sense. I don't know what else can we say about this fight. You guys already talked about it. Maybe we should open the phone lines. What do you think, BDA?
No, not yet, man. What are you doing? We just 5 minutes in. It's like, hey, let's let somebody
Well, I
else
mean,
Play the videos, man.
Revisit the fight. I don't know what else we can say. See, the thing, to me, in my opinion, there's not much to say about this fight.
Well, can you play the
pretty
videos of what happened afterwards?
Well, I'll play the audio.
All right. So just to say, while Butch is doing that,
Yeah, set it up.
just to set the stage, before last episode, we were talking about Luis de Cubas, which a lot of people now started pointing out, by the way, after post-fight, how insane this guy is. Shout out to ringside reporter Beeves. He mentioned that too afterwards. You're going to see what we're talking about, or here rather, in this instance. Luis de Cubas was going at it with David Benavidez in the pre-fight press conference, the last press conference. And then afterwards, they were in the same room, post-fight press conference, and Luis de Cubas goes up to Benavidez. I don't think we have this clip. I don't think I sent it to Butcher, but he goes in, he goes, hey, he starts pointing his finger at Benavidez, and then Benavidez is like, all right, go sit down, man. What's the matter with you? So de Cubas sits down, and now near the end of the conference, before Morrell's side is to leave, so that Benavidez' side can answer questions from the press, de Cubas says something. Well, you're gonna hear what happened.
Yeah, let me just boost the volume. All right.
Congrats to both for taking this fight. What'd you say? And congrats to Benavidez for winning this fight.
I'm gonna slap the fuck out of you. You better come the fuck out.
Come on and do it, baby. Come on and do it.
I'm not afraid of you.
Maybe I have to play it. No, people want to get what the hell's happening. All right, give me 2 seconds. Take over.
Yeah, so that's just... Go ahead, Gonzalo. What?
No, I'll just say it's funny that Benavidez says, I'm going to slap the fuck out of you, because that's all he does is slaps.
Come on.
Come on, man. I mean, but realistically, with the Cubas is, I don't know, and I don't know, Bucho says he's going to play the video. You guys are going to see something that people started pointing out later that for some reason I missed. I missed the reason behind the Cubas, or the possible reason, rather, excuse me, the possible reason behind Cubas' wild antics. And, well, I'm going to point out what that is. Mention that after we watch this clip. But it's, I mean, I don't understand these promoters talking for their fighters. And this is what happens when the guy does too much talking. He's stealing his feelings about it. You know, that he said Morrell is going to do this, Morrell's going to do that. And what did he do? I mean, he didn't fight. Okay.
Fucking shit, it's not playing. What the fuck? What the fuck?
You need to, are you playing the part that I gave you, or are you playing the whole stream?
No.
He did all right.
So,
the problem that
congrats.
he with
I got it. Hold on.
So, congrats to both for taking this fight. What'd you say? And congrats to Benavidez for winning this fight.
I'm gonna slap the fuck out of you. You better come the fuck out.
Come on and do it, baby. Come on and do it.
I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. Keep talking shit. I'm not afraid of you.
See, the guy's still talking to Cuba. What the fuck is his problem? The fight's over. Even Morrell doesn't give a fuck. You know, he doesn't have any problems with Benavidez.
All right, we're gonna wrap up Morrell. We're gonna wrap up Morrell.
Let's get a picture. Can we get a picture? David?
All right, that's pretty much it.
All right, so you could hear it in the official press conference, but there were clips going around on Twitter where people were closer to the action. We still couldn't hear what the Cuba said. It sounded like he was saying he ain't shit or something like that, which prompted David Benavidez to ask, what'd you say? And then the Cubas doubled down apparently, and that's when David Benavidez, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. And then the guy goes, come on and do it. But afterwards, also another part we didn't hear in this clip was that the Cubas started complaining. He called me a thief. He called me a thief. He called me a thief. And then Jose Benavidez Sr. said, well, are you a thief? Like, you know, trying to say in a way, if you're not a thief, why are you so worked up about this? And then the Cubas said, you guys make more money than I do. You guys are taking more money than I. And then they whisked him away like the old drunk uncle at a party at the picnic. So, yeah, this dude is obviously... Oh, okay, so here's where I was going to go with this. I mentioned, or I compared him to a camel. He's always moving his mouth, always moving his jaw, like showing gum and teeth. And I'm thinking, what is this guy on about? And of course, it didn't hit me because I'm not part of that scene, or I left that scene a long time ago. People were talking about that the guy may have been on substances, certain substances, party substances, if you know what I mean. which sort of make you very agitated, make you move your jaw and clench your jaw a lot. So maybe that's what the guy is on. He's one of those guys who's, a promoter, whatever. He probably overworks himself, whatever. So he's probably on ephedrine, a whole bunch of stimulants. And he's accustomed to that now. Like his body needs it. He needs to be on something to feel alive and to feel like he's working, whatever. So
He needs a rush.
I mean, how else would you explain? Yeah, I mean, how else would you explain this dude fucking going like Rapak says, chiperico, like a little parrot, just going after people? What's the matter with him?
Yeah, he's also Cuban, isn't he? The Cubas, and he trains Morrell.
I think so.
Kind of like Scarface, no? The coke epidemic in the 80s.
Maybe that's what it's related to. It's like, hey, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. Come on and do it, baby. Come on and do it. It's like, what are you gonna do? Come on and see. People have I hate this confidence. People have this false sense of confidence that they really shouldn't have. It's gonna get him in trouble one of these days if he hasn't already. I'm surprised he's lived this long. He must have taken his share of beatings or something growing up, because I can't imagine somebody having this type of false confidence not getting slapped around a little bit.
Yeah, should we play it again?
I don't know. I think we get the gist of it.
Benavidez for winning this fight.
I'm gonna slap the fuck out of you. You better come the fuck out.
Come on and do it, baby. Come on and do it.
Come on,
I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you.
Keep talking shit. I'm not afraid of you.
All right, we're gonna wrap up Morrell. We're gonna wrap up Morrell.
They take him away like a crazy old man or something.
Yeah, like an old man. All right, time for your medicine. It really is amazing. Like you said, Bucho, that Morrell's okay with the loss. I mean, not okay, but I mean, he's calmed down now because of the loss. He's got all that energy out of himself. Meanwhile, the Cubas is still out there jawing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it comes to Morrell, he did what he could. I don't know. Yeah, he lost the fight. Some people were saying he was gonna get destroyed, demolished. Did Benavidez put on a beating on Morrell? Can you say that?
It's one of those things that now this is what I have been thinking more of lately, and I kind of believe that this is going to be a David Benavidez from here on out. Like BD said, he's peaked. It's easier to throw 1,000 slaps than 1,000 punches. That's why he has a high volume. It's like when you're at a party and you're trying to break a piñata, you hit it with all your will. And that's just not going away, that you got to pass the stick to another person. Benavidez's fighting style, you can kind of see the limit on that, what it is, especially at 75. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not knocking anybody out. Kind of like Pitbull Cruz, Pitbull Cruz different because he's...
Right. I mean, but not all punches were slapped. I mean, those uppercuts looked pretty fucking strong, pretty hard. And Morrell took those uppercuts, and you think that he would take a step back. He wasn't. Sometimes he wasn't even taking a step back. He was just shelling up, taking 1, 2, 3 uppercuts. He was still there. So I'm wondering how much power does Benavidez even have? These weren't slaps. He was really throwing those uppercuts with mean intentions, and they weren't. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, he was slapping with mean intentions.
I mean, even a guy with brittle hands like Mayweather, the people claim that he had power because it's the velocity that rings your bell that kind of makes you like, you got to get your shit back together, discombobulate your head. He will do that to where you got to concentrate again, but it's not the type of punch that's flipping your eyes back and, and knocking you out now.
Well, that's what's interesting about this. This is what makes Benavidez effective, even at 175, is that he can throw a lot of shots and then shell up and catch the incoming fire, thus shutting down his opponent's offense and then keep on coming. Again, this is why a lot of people think that being aggressive is rudimentary or primitive. Not so. It's difficult to do because you have to transition from offense to defense very, very quickly. And it's something a lot of people aren't comfortable with, don't know how to do, or as I mentioned before, they don't have the wherewithal to do it. They don't have the chin, they don't have the confidence, whatever. This is something that he's managed to manufacture. This is a style that he's managed to work on and build and craft because he's been boxing since he was a kid. This didn't come from one day to the next. This is what happens when somebody puts a lot of years into their craft. And that's what Benavidez is able to do. Some of these guys, you will never see with them trying it. I mean, Devin Haney, remember when he tried against Jorge Linares? Because he thought, okay, I'm going to break this guy. He ended up getting caught and had to clinch for 2.5 rounds to survive. So it's not something that everybody can do, but that's what makes Benavidez effective. However, that lack of firepower when he fights somebody better, and there are much better guys at 175 than Morrell, and obviously you guys know who that is, Beterbiev Bivol, how's he going to handle that? That's the big question. Is that overworking guys volume approach going to be effective against guys like Bivol and Beterbiev?
Right, that's the big question now. I mean, Gonzalo, didn't you say that you think that Benavidez has a good chance of defeating Beterbiev?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like what BDA said. Like, it's true. Like, with all the criticism that I'm giving post-fight, where I could say, yeah, he did a lot of good things, then you got to look at the negative. But it's kind of like BDA will say, he's done practice some things that other guys will never pick up, and that's what makes him effective. Because, look, if it's a slap, it's still considered a punch. So if it goes to scorecards where he beats a old better BF and based off a punch volume and punches landed and punches missed, well, he might get away with the win if he doesn't Beterbiev doesn't knock him out. And same thing with Bivol. Bivol, he's a good fighter, hardly loses rounds, but he's not necessarily the most exciting guy either, and he hasn't knocked out his opponent like in 8 years. So there's a possibility that Benavidez can beat those guys. I'm not saying that he will, absolutely.
I mean,
he might get sparked out. I just don't know. But I'm just saying he brings some things to the table that make him an interesting fighter.
Right.
But one more thing, Bucho. But at the same time, now that I've seen what he does when he hits you with everything, isn't knocking you out. It's kind of like boring now. Now I know what I can expect from him, and I've seen it, so it's not that exciting, right? Although it is, because he's letting his hands go. But I know he's not gonna knock you out like he knocked out Andrade all the time at 75, his opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I agree with Gonzalo. He can beat Beterbiev and Bivol. I mean, there's always a chance, right? I'm not saying never say never, but he won't be as dominating as he did against other guys. You know what I mean? Because there is a lack of punching power. And Butcher, you're right, though. I mean, he was punching with a plum. He was hitting hard or trying to punch hard, Benavidez is. But you can tell it's because he's, like Gonzalo said, the hand speed, the velocity, and he is turning his body over. But it's that goddamn final thing, which is the elbow positioning. He's not bringing it up. No. And sometimes he'll punch with the palm. So he's essentially slapping and hitting with the palm. So it's not going to hurt. I mean, it hurt smaller guys at 168. These dudes can take it. They're nonplussed by it. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Benavidez. The other interesting thing about it is, Bucho, do you think Benavidez beats Chris Billum-Smith at cruiserweight?
See, that's the thing. I even think that Benavidez is somewhat of a small cruiserweight, a small light heavyweight. I mean, he has the height, but he doesn't look like he has the strength. It's a little bit like Chavez Jr. when he moved up to 175, remember? And he fought from Farah. Sure, you'd think, he has like the height of a light heavyweight. He put it away. But when you compared him to Fonfara, you could tell that he didn't look like a natural light heavyweight. Just like Zurdo Ramirez, in my opinion, doesn't look like a natural cruiserweight. Benavidez doesn't look like a fully natural 175-pounder. And now he has lost that size advantage. He has lost that size advantage that he had at 168. And so I don't even think he can be successful at cruiserweight. Definitely not.
Yeah, I agree, man.
I mean, if Gvozdyk and Morrell could take his punches, what do you think a cruiserweight is going to be able to handle? He's going to be able to handle everything.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. And speaking from the business side of this, Saturday, a lot of people called in that were saying that they don't think Benavidez is going to fight the winner of Bivol Beterbiev. They're saying that he's probably going to avoid that fight. And I was thinking, I hope not. And now I don't know if you saw, but bad news, or something that's important to bad news. They asked him about a Beterbiev-Bivol fight in the post-fight press conference. He says, well, if it happens, it has to happen in Vegas because now I'm the star. I'm a star in Vegas. Look at how many people turned out, which, by the way, didn't sell out the venue. But anybody will still in the crowd. I don't know how.
Haymanites on Twitter exposed the whole thing on X.
There you go. Check out Haymanites' tweet on that. And he's talking as if he's the A side. So Recognize asked a good question. Okay, so what was the point of moving up on 175 if he doesn't want to fight the best? And why does he think he gets to dictate anything? Again, it reminds me of the Canelo negotiations when they were asking for TV rights. I mean, again, I don't want to think that Benavidez is the guy who's scared, because I don't think it is. I've always placed the blame on the Canelo fight not taking place on Samson Lukowicz. But now I'm starting to think, man, Benavidez really needs to stop listening to what this guy's saying, man, because this whole concept of we have to fight in Vegas. Who cares where you fight? You're getting paid either way, man. And you're going to get the titles if you win.
Is he starting to believe that he's a superstar because he was placed on pay-per-view multiple times and he's fighting in Las Vegas? He's a main event guy, obviously, and all of a sudden, I feel like I'm a star now and I have leverage. Does he really? Well, I want to see the pay-per-view numbers. I want to see the pay-per-view numbers.
Well, probably because the other two guys are Russian, and Russians usually get thrown under the bus as far as like stardom. Just because he's American, he probably believes that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, that's going to be the excuse if he doesn't fight. Is that going to be the excuse, rather, if he doesn't fight Beterbiev or Bivol? He's going to say, well, these guys don't want to fight in my backyard. It's like, well, you're not in a position to dictate anything, man. I mean, yeah, it would be fun for the fans to be able to see that fight, but the reality is, the economic reality is right now is that those type of fights aren't economically viable. It's one thing to fight at David Morrell. They probably paid him, barely $1 million, maybe? I don't know. I'd have to check it out. I doubt that they paid him much more than that. The only one with the deep pockets enough and the infrastructure to make that happen would be the Sheik.
Right. Now, talking about the Sheik, that's a good point. Benavidez has been invited by the Sheik, apparently, to be ringside for the Beterbiev Bivol rematch, February the 22nd. Okay, so Benavidez is going to be there. So obviously, the Sheik is hoping that they can make Benavidez fight the winner. But Benavidez is already talking about, I just want to fight in Las Vegas. To me, that's going to be, I hope not. I hope it's not an excuse for future negotiations, right? No, I'm only going to fight in Las Vegas. And it has to be a PBC event on Amazon fucking Prime or whatever wherever they're going to be next.
Man, that's what I'm saying. He was asking the TV rights. He was dictating terms to Canelo. Well, what do you think he's going to do to Beterbiev and Bivol? I mean, they have an inflated worth or sense of worth of themselves. I don't know if you want to transition to the Crawford.
Yeah, let's transition to the Crawford-Canelo.
Well, can I say something about that? To set up the groundwork. Benavidez spoke with Errol Helwani. No, some people in the chat are saying Giovanni. Come on. He spoke with Errol Helwani, and this is what he had to say about the Crawford-Canelo fight. He said, you can give Crawford like a 7 out of 10 chance to win. Crawford is good, and I think he's known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long time now. Crawford likes to pick up the weights. I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford wins. End quote. That's what Benavidez just said.
Is this Rocky, Rocky 6, whatever the fucking movie was called? Where
Blunt force trauma.
Yeah, he's going to fight Antonio Tarver. He's like, you're old. You have arthritis, whatever. You're all sick. So what you need, what is it?
Blunt force trauma.
Blunt force trauma. So he starts lifting weights for a boxing fight. Yeah. Like this is a fucking movie. You can't just put on muscle to move up in weight. That's not how it fucking works.
But which one is it now, though? Because before the narrative started to become, Crawford walks at 170, so he's not going to be that much smaller than Canelo, and he doesn't have to do anything. Now it's, he's got to lift weights. This is Benavidez saying that, and I did see some Crawford fans going with it. So which one is it? Is he walking around 70, or does he need to put on muscle for this fight?
He needs to put on weight, but do it in a smart way, but not just lift weights. This is what Shane Mosley did, I think. Remember when he went up to 154?
Mm-hmm.
He did it all wrong. He started lifting weights, but he started doing, what's it called? Bench pressing. He started to bench press. And he had those big pecs. But that's for wrestling. Yeah, that's not for boxing.
Well, is it even for wrestling?
I don't know. Probably even not. I don't know. But it's not for boxing for sure. So
yeah, I remember Jim Lampley said, he's developed a deep chest, which I don't know if it's good for boxing. And Emmanuel Stewart was saying, I usually refrain from the weightlifting. So, again, I don't know if that was the reason why he's lost against Werner Forrest. Werner Forrest had something to do with the loss too. But it is interesting that as soon as he started hitting those weights, he was never really the same monster that he was at lightweight.
Right. So, but I mean, I'm sure Crawford, he's not an idiot. He's going to move up in weight the right way. And yeah, for sure, this fight's going to happen. How small is Crawford? Does he even have a chance? We're going to be talking to people on the phone lines. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. PDA, take over, please.
Yes. Well, and the other thing is somebody posted, I think it was Sobers, maybe on his Discord, yet another video of Terence Crawford wrestling a fan, wrestling him to the ground, pinning him. And I'm thinking, what is this new, again, this trend? Well, I mean, it's not a new trend. It's relatively new, starting in 2023. These guys go up to Crawford and they want to wrestle him. Gonzalo, I don't know if that's what you understood. I was trying to explain that to you the other day at the joke that what Repet used to say, like, you know, all these Crawford fans wrestling him for an interview. Would you wrestle Canelo for the chance at an interview? I've never seen this before. I've never seen guys go up to a fighter. You know, they're there with their girlfriends and their wives, and they're like, "Hey, Crawford, can you pin me to the ground? Get real close to me. Put your crotch on my face and really pin me." I mean, it's like, what is this? It's a little bizarre. Gonzalo, what do you think about this?
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
yeah, he's a strong guy, but Jesus, Canelo's fucking strong too.
Ready to connect. Click connect to show now.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Do you think Crawford should hit the weights, or do you think he just show up there and
host? You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
I think you got to do it the right way, but that takes time. And personally, I believe that if you lift weights, your arms become tight and they become bowed. You will lose snap on your punches. Then as the rounds go on, you're gonna get more tired swinging your arms. Just gotta do it the right way. Like Canelo added it onto his neck and to his legs, and I don't know. He does a lot of shit. I don't know. I can't really say BDA because nowadays people will incorporate that, but you gotta do it smartly, right?
Absolutely. I remember Roy Jones went up to heavyweight. But that was a different dynamic. Roy Jones is a better boxer in his prime. I'm not saying technically, but in terms of overall package, because of his innate ability to always be much, much faster than everybody else. He put on, what was it? He fought Clinton Woods in December or late 2002. And then in March, he fought John Ruiz, and he weighed in at about 193 pounds. Well, he weighed in at 200, I think, but technically I think he was 193.
No, two.
Yeah, but technically he was 193, I think.
Yeah, he had sneakers on, and then he had like.
That's what I'm saying. I think he actually weighed in. There's a documentary where he's in his hotel room and he weighs. He no longer has any clothing on. And he steps on the scale and it says 193. He goes, I forget what he says, but he says something like checkmate, something like that. Like he was fooling people into thinking that he was over 200. He was 193. And
he almost dropped fucking John Ruiz.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. Canelo ain't no John Ruiz. I mean, if you actually think that these guys are comparable, I don't know what the hell you're thinking, man. You need to go back to boxing school or something, because Ruiz was a rudimentary guy. He got outboxed by James Stoney not that long afterwards. He wasn't that great a boxer against smaller guys. He could, one thing to fight a 40-year-old Holyfield and get into a clinch fest with him, or same thing with Andrew Golad. It's another thing to actually fight a guy who's faster than you. Canelo's fought faster guys before, and he's done pretty well. So again, this is a different matter. But I'm curious to hear what other people have to say now.
Well,
that this
we already
fight
have phone calls here. Somebody dropped out, but we still have somebody here. 323, you're on the air. 323.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up? Who's this?
Did you catch that horse shit last night? That complete fabrication of belts, that complete farce for undisputed world titles last night. The 42-year-old novice with only 5 fights, no amateur record, that Clarissa Shields went the distance with. Did you catch that shit? That actually hurt Clarissa in the round 6.
This is
and made her. It was a complete the arena that they blacked out the nosebleed seats because there was nobody up there, and it was in some fucking random place in fucking Flint. Did you catch that fucking complete fucking idiot, the fucking fabrication of a undisputed fight?
Well, no, I had better things to do, so I didn't watch that. No.
I don't like Dom Madrazo's
exactly.
attitude.
That was fucking terrible. And then the fight before it, where the two guys went out of the ring, I don't know who the fuck they were. It was a horrible fight to watch. It was just kind of turning my stomach to watch it. And then one guy fell on top of another guy, and he kind of just stayed there for a while. I mean, they were counting 20 seconds, and it took like 16 seconds for this dude to get up off of this guy. It was so fucking weird. Anyway, I think he felt the half chub, and maybe he wanted to stay, see what happened next. No. Listen, this whole Benavidez thing looks kind of it is kind of silly now that he's demanding to stay in Vegas, and I just think it's on product with PBC. I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't think anybody else is really surprised. We all know what school he's coming from, and he's not moving promoters. He should. People have been talking about him going to Oscar, which is a good idea because at least he'll stay active. There's nobody else to fight at. He's not going to fight the winner of Bivol. Better, he's not going to beat either of those guys. I missed the show after the fight, but I'm sure this was already talked about. You know, he got rattled by a guy with 11 fights. So, no noteworthy opponents at all on his record.
I hope you learned your lesson, Madrazos.
What was that?
I hope you learned your lesson.
Oh, well, for rooting for Benavidez?
No, I was talking about the Clarissa Shields fight, for watching that shit.
Oh yeah, no, I was on with Ring IQ last night, and we were. It was funny. I mean, we were kind of hoping for a knockout, and
hey, Don Margazzo, can you hear me?
It would have been. Yeah.
Okay, let me just say something here. Like, we always allow people to come in here, speak their mind. So I'm just gonna speak my mind now that you spoke yours. It's okay to hate Clarissa Shields. You can hate her as much as you want, but let me make one thing perfectly crystal clear here. You may hate her, but you will respect her.
Nah, I'm good. I'm
hang
good.
Up on him. Hang up on him.
I mean, you know what?
Dare you?
Yeah, no, I'm.
Did you watch the
I'm
movie?
okay.
Did you watch the
movie? She has no respect for anybody. I mean, look at this whole thing. You think this just came out of nowhere? I mean, it was they made up these belts. They made these fucking belts up. She's fighting for vacant belts that sanctioning bodies just made up against someone that doesn't even have any fights. Like 5 fights. This woman had never. She's 42. She's never been in a 10-round fight before ever.
Yeah, you need to go watch the movie, educate yourself.
And this is for fucking Undisputed.
All right, calm down. Go watch the movie, educate yourself, and you will understand her life's struggles and all of that bullshit. All right?
That's right.
No, I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch the movie. I'm not. Fuck that. I'm not watching that.
Get some popcorn.
Movie.
You know, get the family. Go watch that. All right.
Get the trans discount.
Is it a porno? Is it about a? So yeah, no. I just wanted to call and say, you guys. I don't know who did the live feed, but that was awesome. Thank you guys very much for that.
What?
The live feed for the fight.
We didn't do it.
For the Benavidez fight. I don't know. I guess it was never sober or something
we don't engage in that type of behavior. That's illegal. All right. Well, thank you for calling in.
Thank you for the illegal streaming. I really appreciate it, you guys. Appreciate it.
You're going to get arrested or something. All right. Take care.
All right, you guys. Take care. Have a good one, man.
All right. How do you hang up?
You know, Bucho, he mentioned that those guys in the Clarissa Shields undercard went down. They stayed down for like 16 seconds. That's really all it takes for these Crawford fans to finish. When Crawford pins him to the ground, it's like 16 seconds. Like, oh, okay, I'm good.
All right. So that was we got another call. 952. You're on the air. 952. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up? What's going on with y'all?
Hey, what's up, man? What's on your mind?
Good. So you do I want to see the Crawford versus Canelo? No, I don't. I wouldn't want to see that fight. That's not that fight doesn't make sense. Like, why would you? The only way that fight would make sense is if Canelo were to agree to a catch weight, and he's not going to do that. So I don't understand why you, because as great as Terrence Crawford is, what people keep forgetting to mention is he's also an aging fighter, and you're going to be an aging fighter moving up to 168 for your first fight against Canelo. And it's like, this is a black versus Mexican fight. I'm supposed to root for the black because I'm black, but I got to be honest because I'm going off of honesty. Canelo going to beat the shit out of Crawford. If that fight actually happens, he going to beat the shit out of Crawford just based on weight. Because from a boxing standpoint, from the talent perspective, technically Crawford's better than Canelo, but weight classes are for a reason. He's going to do him the same way he did Charlo. Charlo had no business going up to 68 to fight Canelo, but Canelo dragged him up there for the money. And same thing's going to happen to Crawford. Even though Crawford is better than Charlo, same thing's going to happen. He's too big. He's going to stand in front of you. Canelo's probably top 3 in the hardest hitters in boxing. He hits you, he's going to feel that. If this fight actually happens, we're going to witness Crawford suffering his first loss. You're not beating Canelo at 68 unless you're a 68-pounder. So it's like this. I don't know what's wrong with Crawford. I guess the money. But it's like there's no reason to do it. But I got a feeling though something's going to go wrong, and that fight probably won't even happen. I got a feeling because September is a while from now. We just touched 25. I think something's going to happen and the fight don't happen. But that fight, I don't want to see that fight because I know it's going to happen. That would be the biggest shock in the world if Crawford somehow beats him at 68. That would be. I can't think nothing would be even more shocking than that.
You're saying Crawford is
I don't see that.
Better boxer, right? You're saying Crawford's a better boxer?
Yeah, he is, technically.
And Charlo managed to go 12 rounds with Canelo. He's not skilled as Crawford, so Crawford might have a chance, right?
It wasn't, but see, the issue with that is it wasn't competitive. Just moving back around and not engaging. Right. That Charlo fight, Canelo was there to be hit. So imagine somebody that can actually deal with somebody that's bigger than them. Canelo was fighting. That fight would have went differently. Charlo punches had no impact on Canelo. That's why when he's hitting him, it's not doing nothing. He's too big. It's not your weight class. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to hit him, it's not going to do nothing. So he's just going to walk you down and just maul you. Same thing's going to happen to Crawford. Crawford's too small for Canelo. So it's like he might be able to move around for 12 rounds and not get hurt. That's fine, but you're just going to lose. Because we know what's going to happen if Canelo catches him clean. And Canelo is very capable of catching him clean. We know what's going to happen. He's going down. It's a wrap. Crawford going to suffer his first loss. But I got a feeling that fight's never going to happen. And
maybe you have a hunch.
And then, I got a hunch that fight's not going to happen. And then as far as Benavidez supposed to fight the winner out of Beterbiev and Bivol, I don't think that fight's going to happen. I think Beterbiev and Bivol, they're probably going to do a trilogy. I see that happen before Benavidez fight one of them. So Benavidez is a great fighter, so I'm not just going to say he's going to automatically lose because how good those guys are, like everybody else is saying. Like he got a chance. It's possible he'll lose, but he got a chance. I mean, Benavidez is good. So, but I don't think that fight's going to happen. I think they're going to do a trilogy instead of that. I don't see Benavidez getting in there. Like I said last time, I would rather Benavidez just rematch Morrell. Like, why not? Gave you a competitive fight, run that back.
I don't think Morrell wants a rematch, though, from what I read. I think he understands he needs to get more experience. So I wonder, what do you think? Are you interested in Benavidez fighting Zurdo at cruiserweight?
No. I think Benavidez should just stay at 75. Going all the way to cruiserweight. Maybe some years from now, but if you saying that from the perspective of that be his next fight?
Yeah, it's somebody talked about this. It's rumors going around that's a possibility.
Nah, I'd rather he stay at 75 and just run it back with Morrell. It's the Morrell, Benavidez, they're saying that Benavidez won that fight based on experience. That's probably true. He has more experience. But I think Morrell, what he need to do is he need to learn how to fight against somebody who does that, because he's never fought nobody that knows how to effectively use that high guard defense Benavidez was using. He's never really fought against somebody that does that. Mm-hmm. That was kind of like catching him off guard because he couldn't get through the way he would like. So what he need to do is he need to go learn how to deal with that. He did everything else really good, but he need to learn how to do that. He learned how to do that, and in a rematch, it's very possible he can beat Benavidez because he was right there with him. Benavidez is hitting him. He won the fight I know last time I said I would have rigged it to get him the rematch, but Benavidez did win. But the problem is he didn't do what he said he was going to do. And like I said, Benavidez is the most dangerous fighter because he's known for just brutalizing and beating everybody up. He didn't do that with Morrell. He was hitting him, but he didn't knock him down.
Yeah,
and then, like you said, he landed all them shots on him. He didn't go down.
Yeah, I don't.
So it's like, yeah, he can hang with him.
I don't think Benavidez has the same power he had at 168. I don't think he lacks power at 175. We saw it against Vosik, and now we saw it against Morrell. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's facts. It seems different because he was beating the shit out of everybody at 168, knocking them down, beating them bloody. Like the way he did Andrade and Caleb Plant, like those were massacres. Like, damn. But he ain't doing nobody at 75 like that, though. And he said he was going to do that to Morrell, but no, he didn't.
Yep.
Morrell was bombing on him. I watched the highlights. He caught him in, what was it, the 4th round? If he would have been able to know how to get through that high guard, he could have potentially knocked Benavidez down because he walked right into that. Now, I give Benavidez credit for being able to regain his legs and staying up. But that high guard was saving him in a lot of those exchanges. And Morrell, he lacked the experience to fight through the high guard. So he need to work on that. But if he get that down and they run it back and they actually fight, because they need to do what Floyd did with Madonna. Floyd did the rematch with Madonna back in the day because it was such a competitive fight. So he was like, let's run that shit back. I
understand. I'd love to
and I feel like Benavidez.
I don't think Morrell wants to. That's the thing. The problem is I don't think Morrell wants to fight. So I don't even know what Benavidez is going to end up doing. But caller, great call. Call
That's
back
unfortunate.
next time. All right? Take care.
Yeah, no doubt. Until next time. Yep.
All right. Let's get back to the panel. By the way, guys, if you want to please support the show, you can do it. What did I say? If you want to support the show, please donate via Buy Me a Coffee. Now we have an alert, so we will see a message when you donate. It's going to pay for the phone lines. What else are we going to say? I was going to say, let's go to the panel here. Oh, I thought Chief was here. He's gone. All right, guys, what do you think about what you've heard so far? Crawford has no chance. Crawford has no chance. No chance in hell. Gonzalo?
He's got a shot. I agree with what the caller said. The only thing, I think he mentioned that Canelo's dragging him up. I don't think it's Canelo so much that wants to fight. It's Crawford, the one that's asking for it, right? I mean, yes, Canelo will take it if it makes financial sense. It's not going to be one of those things that you're going to say, oh, here we go again, Canelo dragging up smaller fighters. No, the one that really wants it is Crawford, and the more he waits, the older he gets. So, I mean, it's up to both fighters in the end. And it's kind of one of those things, if Canelo wins, will he get credit? Probably not as much as Crawford, obviously.
No.
But does he have a chance? Yeah, well, it's kind of like Caleb Plant said, he can switch from righty to lefty. He can turn one way, he can turn the other, and stuff like that. So
I'd like to see Crawford. I'd like to see Crawford fight tune-up fight. You know, there were rumors that he was going to fight Devrachenko. I think that would have been a good fight to see him at a higher weight, and also, depending on if he would have performed impressively in that fight, then Canelo maybe would have gotten a little bit more credit for beating Crawford. But if Crawford just moves up in weight, no tune-ups, no nothing, and then loses to Canelo doesn't gain anything.
No, well, yeah, Canelo doesn't, but if Crawford goes up, takes a tune-up, like you said, against Devrachenko, and he loses, then the Canelo payday goes out the window. So might as well just gamble, because if you do play Canelo, whether you lose, you still make millions and you retire. Because ultimately, that's what Crawford might be wanting, is to make a big paycheck.
Yeah, he might not even want to risk it. You're right. And you're right. I mean, it's Crawford who wants it. Let's just make it clear. It's Crawford who's been calling Canelo out. Go ahead, Mr. B.
I mean, obviously people they're gonna turn it around once, because it's interesting how things work. Is people don't believe something until they actually see it. They can conceive it. The mind can conceive it. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Before the fight, a lot of us were saying, look, Morrell is 11-0. he's got some physical tools that he can work with against Benavidez, but it's highly unlikely. It's unlikely that he's going to beat Benavidez, and I think the big part of that is inexperience. You had a lot of people saying, "Oh, Morrell's going to beat him," blah blah blah. Then after the fight, it becomes, man, but he was just too green. Well, what the fuck do you think he was beforehand? You thought he was a seasoned veteran? That's what we were saying, but people don't. It's only once they see, it's like, oh, now they understand it. Same thing with Crawford-Canelo. For a lot of people, they're still imagining the Crawford from 2023, the one that beat up Spence. And they're looking at that, and they still have in their mind, they still have the Canelo from the Cotto fight from 2010, not Miguel Cotto, the other guy, Jose Cotto. They still got that image in their heads of Jose Cotto, the Jose Cotto fight, and the Lara fight, and the Mayweather fight. And they think, well, Crawford is athletic, he's an Afro-Anglo, he's the best fighter in the world, according to some pound-for-pound list. He's going to outbox Canelo, no problem. They don't understand a lot of things. A, he's not that much more skilled than Canelo. In fact, I dare say he's not as skilled as Canelo. And then on top of that, there is a huge size discrepancy. Right now, you have a lot of people falling for all the illusory items that I mentioned. You got guys like Uzi. You got guys like Tim Bradley. You got guys like Rick Glacier. David Benavidez just recently said he gives Crawford a 7 out of 10 chance to beat Canelo. He said that today, in fact. And it's just a plethora of people picking Crawford to outbox Canelo. But after the fight, once they see if indeed what we're predicting occurs, because again, we don't have a crystal ball, but if that happens, you're going to start seeing a lot of people all of a sudden, oh, no credit. And what were you picking him for? You know, unless there's some sort of like clear injury that he, like say he injures his hand or shoulder, or, you know, there's some sort of weird rehydration clause or whatever placed on him, then you have the right to say, okay, this probably prevented him from getting the win. But it's people don't understand something until they actually see it. So I don't expect Canelo to get any credit afterwards.
All right, let's take more phone calls here. We got a phone call here, 619. 619, you're on the air. Go ahead, 619.
You still can't find your EBT card?
What's that?
He's paying for something.
Yo.
It's the bodega.
All right. We're going to have to go back to him later. We're going to talk to some other guy here. 213 on the air.
Yo.
What's up? You're in the air. What's on your mind?
Man, I just wanted to say one thing. Because I don't see nobody. I don't know if it's just me. I just feel like that dude, Morrell, gave up in that fight, man. I felt like he could have beat him, but when he got tired, he just ain't want to put out the full effort to just go ahead and try his best at the end. Because I seen him have enough to put more effort into fighting him, but he just didn't do it. I don't know if it was because he was getting hurt to the body or he just didn't want to put forth the effort. I think it was just the effort part. I think he gave up, basically, is what I'm saying, at the end. Even though he had a little knockdown at the end, he still ain't really tried enough, in my opinion. I think he could have beat him, and I don't think he ever going to beat him now because I don't know. I just don't like what I saw yesterday. I felt cheated in some way from this dude Morrell. That's my first time really ever watching him. I only heard. I thought he was gonna, but then I went to go watch his old fights, and I was like, okay, I see. But then when he went and fought, I just didn't see the effort, man. I don't know if it's just I'm tripping because I keep seeing people saying it was a good fight. I just didn't see him win any rounds really either. The only thing I saw was him when it was like, I think it was like the fourth round. He caught him like coming in. That was like the only thing I saw from Morrell.
Yeah, well, who did you pick before that? Who was your pick for that fight?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, I already knew. I felt like from what I seen, because I started watching Benavidez when he fought. I forgot that dude's name. Anthony Durrell. So I had been following him for a long time. So I kind of knew he was gonna win, but deep down inside, I wanted him to lose to Morrell after watching Morrell just a little bit. But then I was disappointed.
Yeah, it's true. He could have. I mean, I think he got tired. He was getting tagged a lot. Maybe he was just satisfied to finishing the fight, going 12 rounds. I think he gave it a good try at the beginning, the first half of the fight. The second half, he faded.
Man, I think they need to go. I think they need to fight harder. I don't know if I'm tripping. I think some of these fighters need to fight harder, man. Because I seen what he did. I see it a lot now. Like at the end, they just kind of give up and steam out. When I see, really, they have enough energy to keep going. And I think that's what separated him and Benavidez. Because Benavidez was tired just like him, but I seen him keep going, and I see that's gonna make him very hard to beat. Just that motor. And I think that's what disappointed me in Morrell. I thought Morrell was gonna have the same motor as Benavidez, and it wasn't close, man.
All right. Well, caller, thanks for calling in. Call back again next time, all right?
Yeah.
See ya.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's take another phone call here. 619. You're on the air. 619.
What's cracking with it?
Yo, what's up?
What's up?
What's on your mind?
Can you hear me?
Yep. What's on your mind?
Shit, I don't know. You tell me what we talking about Crawford and Canelo, right? I mean, I'm just getting to get in here right now.
Yeah, go ahead. What are you
I'm talking on the fucking thing.
Do you want to see this fight?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah. Do you want?
Yeah. No. Go ahead. Yeah. Fucking get me back in a little bit. I'm over here messing with. Hey, hold on, BDA. You can. I'm gonna call back.
All right. Call back.
I'm gonna call back.
Yeah. All right. People they're calling from work or something. People in the chat. Anyways, so let's get back to the Discord here. All right, we got.
That was Silvers calling in, by the way.
Yeah, Never Silvers calling. Never Silvers is here. If you want to jump in.
What's up?
Hey, people are saying that if Crawford wins, you're gonna kill yourself or something.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, big if, everybody. Keep dreaming.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
Hey, Sobers, did you see that Benavidez is saying that Crawford's got a very, very good chance at beating Canelo, and that he wouldn't be surprised if Crawford wins?
No, I didn't see that at all. I don't know why he said some goofy shit like that, but he needs to worry about what's in front of him. He barely got past Morrell. It looked like he got his ass cut up.
Well, can I say something about Abucha? The previous caller, not the one who ended up having to hang up, but the other one, he said that he thought Morrell sort of threw it in the bag, or what's the term here? Like sort of laid down. Hawker Mustang posted a video, but I didn't see all of it, but from Boxing Underground Basement. Shout out to him. He makes good videos. He was sort of intimating too that Morrell may have thrown the fight. I don't know, man. See, that's the other thing. Somebody was saying, like, what the fuck? Sorry, excuse me. Somebody was saying, I saw a comment, I forget where it was. He's saying, like, man, I don't know, man. I mean, Morrell, I was expecting him to be styling on Dave Benavidez. I think he was going to show him angles. He was going to style on him. And I said, wait, when did you ever see Morrell style on anybody? I mean, he couldn't style on Kalashnik, the Serbian Cholo. I mean, it's easy to look, even when he was fighting the bumps that he was over at PBC. I mean, I shouldn't say bumps, but subpar opposition. He was having his way with him. He never developed that ability to be styling on them. I mean, these ain't the amateurs where you can style on somebody for 3 rounds. This is a professional ranks, buddy boy. And he couldn't, that was never his style. If you watch his style, especially against Kalashnik, he wasn't styling. He wasn't showing angles. He was staying right in the middle rounds. Kalashnik was sort of teeing off on him a little bit because Morrell was just standing there with his guard up. Same thing here. That's what happens when he runs out of ideas.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, remember, this is some of the people that, when you say styling, look at the guy that fought Figueroa. Oh, that's the coolest shit that I ever seen. Wearing the Timberland boots with the jeans in the ring. And it's not even fighting. That's just something that you walk in with and people keep talking about it. Like it's a big deal.
That's a good point, man. Yeah. People. I mean, I don't know, styling.
Yeah, can I say that? Yesterday about the fights, dude? I do think that Stephen Folson's outfit was pretty funny. It was pretty cool.
Well, I thought when you said the fights from last night, I thought you were going to talk about the big fight between Clarissa Shields and that
the big one.
42-year-old woman.
The big one.
Yeah.
Oh no! Everybody kept telling me to stream, and I'm like, I didn't even know she was fighting, man. They're like trying to make jokes that I want to watch her fight. I'm like, I didn't even know she was fighting. Y'all niggas keeping up with her shit.
Well, like I keep telling people, I mean, yeah, it's okay to hate her or love her, whatever, but you got to respect her. That's one thing you're going to have to do on this channel.
I did see some highlights. She was beating up a bigger girl. That was a big chick. She was beating up.
Yeah, that's right. She was beating up on Big Mama.
Guys, hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. Hit the like. We're at 40-something likes. That's just disgusting. We have 144 people watching and only 40 likes. We're going to end the show. We're going to shut down the whole operation, all right?
I got to take umbrage with the fact that I just made that offhand remark, like, Big Mama, you laughed. But when I made a very good one, and Earl Stevens said, Butcher gave me a Peter laugh. When I said that Crawford, the guys that he wrestles, they last for 16 seconds before coming. And you didn't even give that one a second laugh or whatever. That was a good one. That was a well-crafted joke compared to the Big Mama joke. And I take umbrage with the fact that you failed to recognize it.
This is a family show. I cannot...
get out of here.
All right, let's take another phone call here. 773, you're on the air. 773.
I'm trying to understand Canelo's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
What is his mindset taking this fight? Is he ducking Benavidez? Because it's a lose-lose. You lose, you lost to a guy way smaller than you. You win, you beat up someone way smaller than you. I mean, who's in there with 175-pounder, guys like Bivol, and now you're going to go in there and fight a 147-pounder. To me, it just looks like he's ducking Benavidez. It's a scary matchup. It's one of those matchups where he's huge, he's going to keep coming forward, and he's going to break you down, break your will in front of everybody. And that seems the only logical conclusion. Otherwise, what? I mean, he's going to make a whole bunch off this fight.
Well, you should talk about Crawford. Crawford wants this fight. Canelo didn't want it, and now apparently he says he might. I mean, he's doing it for the money at this point, I think, Canelo. It's once the Sheik
the Turkey gave him 100 million reasons to take this fight.
Right. Once the Sheik
got involved. I was like to ask the caller, he's talking about still ducking David Benavidez. Why? This dude's about to go to cruiserweight to challenge Gilberto Ramirez if he can't get a fight against Bivol or Beterbiev. So you still can see him safely going down to 168 and winning? Like, seriously?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure the mindset out because it's a lose-lose.
Money.
No one's going to give him credit for winning this fight. No one's going to.
Who's not going to give him? Why? Who's not going to give him credit?
Like, what a great win! I mean, it's just money, huh? You telling me he couldn't?
Mayweather get credit for beating?
Couldn't make millions fighting
credit for beating
Benavidez. He couldn't make similar fighting Benavidez.
Hey, no.
Caller,
hey,
did you give Floyd Mayweather Jr. credit for beating Marquez?
I'm not talking about Floyd Mayweather. I don't care about Floyd Mayweather. I'm talking about now and forever. Turn up on your bitch ass.
Hey, can I ask Kevin K-Dog something? K-Dog, I don't know if you recently saw there was a UFC guy recently. I don't even know his name, but he said he had some choice comments for the chosen people. And Dana White recently came out and said that those comments were disgusting. And I think somebody just posted a clip on Twitter of him saying he believes in free speech except if it's hate speech. What do you think about that?
You're never going to win people over regarding that guy. He's a complicated figure, but he did a lot of bad things. The thing is, people are acting like he's the first person to figure out what these people are doing. There's a lot of people throughout history were aware of what this tribe was doing.
Oh, boy.
And he went and caused a whole stink and messed it up for everybody, and now they got total control. So fuck that, dude. And any of those weirdos trying to praise him are fucking fools. Straight up inbred idiots. Like Bryce Mitchell, the dude's a dumbass.
All right. We're gonna move on. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you what.
What is going on here? All right, he hung up. All right, let's take another phone call. 412, you're on the air. 412.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to comment on Benavidez, right? As far as the next fight after February 22 when Bivol and Beterbiev fought. I think one of you guys mentioned it, but he's already putting the pieces in place to not fight them, right? Saying we're going to do it in Vegas. I mean, he's setting it up so that he just doesn't have to fight them. I think he knows that he has limits at 175. He's a good 175er, but he doesn't have the power to beat the top guys. I think Bivol will outpoint him very comfortably, and I think he gets brutally knocked out by Beterbiev.
Oh, shit.
His style is all wrong for Beterbiev. Like, if you look at Beterbiev's history, right, he has a devastating counter right against volume flurry punchers, right? He knocked out Callum Smith that way. He knocked out Joe Smith Jr. that way. He knocked out Callum Johnson that way. Benavidez requires volume and pressure in order to have success, but he just cannot, he won't be able to take Beterbiev's firepower. Like, if you can really hurt him, his style doesn't work because he has to, look, he couldn't knock out Gvozdyk, right? He couldn't knock out Morrell. So you can say that he's probably not going to knock out Beterbiev. So what has to happen? He's got to overwhelm Beterbiev for 12 rounds, right? So he's going to be going at Beterbiev, throwing volume punches for 12 rounds against arguably the hardest puncher in light heavyweight history. I mean, come on. It's not a good matchup for him. He's going to get knocked out brutally. It's probably going to be a counter right. He's going to be doing those flurries. He's got fast hands, and Beterbiev is just going to clip him. You saw in round 4, I mean, Morrell had him doing the chicken dance in round 4. I think it was towards the end, right? He caught him with a nice counter, and Benavidez's legs got wobbly, right?
He
so
hurt him.
A guy like Morrell can hurt him. What do you think Beterbiev's going to do?
Caller, I agree 100% with you. I think that's a terrible fight. The Bivol fight, I still think he loses the Bivol fight, but there might be a chance, maybe, that he can win it. But against Beterbiev, I don't see it. Unless Beterbiev gets old all of a sudden. He's already 40, right? But no, I don't.
He just turned 40. I mean, the thing about Beterbiev is people say, look, his age, right? Power is the last thing to go, right? So his power is not going to go, right? So the only thing you can say is maybe if he gets chinny, right, overnight. But then again, look, Benavidez couldn't knock out Gvozdyk. He's like a shot 38-year-old, Like, Gvozdyk was like semi-retirement.
Right.
So Benavidez couldn't put him out.
So if you're Benavidez, let's say you are Benavidez's manager, what do you do?
I honestly, the funny thing is, I think they're doing the right thing, right? I think you have to kind of pretend that you're going to fight Beterbiev and Bivol, because that's going to get you the spotlight and the media attention. And I think that puts more, it puts Canelo more on the spot, right? But ultimately, what I would do is, just fight one of these middle-range light heavyweights, like somebody like bouts or, I don't know, Callum Smith Jr., somebody like that. Keep your name out there. And then just hope that the Canelo fight comes through. He's in a tough spot, honestly. I don't think, I just don't think that... Look, if Bivol beats Beterbiev, I think he should take a chance on himself and try to beat Bivol. Because he is sparred Bivol. So he knows what Bivol's like, and he's not going to get hurt in that fight. And there's maybe a chance, I think it's maybe a 20% chance he wins. I think Bivol's going to outpoint him. There's a 80% chance Bivol outpoints him, but you can take the shot. If Beterbiev wins, I think he should stay away from Beterbiev. It's not a fight he should take. I think because he's not just going to lose. I think he's going to damage his career. He's going to get stopped.
All right, caller. Great call. We got to move on, but thank you for calling. Call back again, all right? Take care.
Yep. Talk to you later.
All right, that was a good call. Let's take another call. 619. You're on the air. 619.
Yeah, what's up, homie?
Yo, what's
what's up, man? I'm back, homie. Definitely do want to see that Canelo versus Crawford fight, bro, because, you know what I'm saying, that would just be a dope-ass fight, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
So you want to see that fight? A lot of people are saying it's a mismatch. Crawford's way too small.
Oh, no, I don't think so. No, that's a negative, homie. That's a negative, straight up, dog. Ain't nobody too small, you know what I'm saying, for anything, dog. You know what I'm saying? If Canelo wasn't too small, you know what I'm saying, to scrap with, what's his name, Bivol or them other dudes up there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why can't Canelo give little dude a chance, you know what I'm saying, to fight and shit, you know what I mean?
So if Canelo wins this fight, well, first of all, who are you picking?
For what? For Canelo versus Crawford?
Yes.
Oh, well, Canelo, I mean, I would say Canelo, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Terrence Crawford gives him that action, you know what I mean?
So is this a 50-50 fight? 60-40? What is it?
Yeah, I say that's about more like I probably give it like a 60-40, something like that, yeah, for
right.
Canelo.
Okay, but you think it's going to be a competitive fight?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I don't think Canelo can knock him out, and shit, Canelo hasn't knocked out anybody in forever, right? Last dude he knocked out was Kovalev on the 10-pound rehydration class.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So
I mean, that's all I'm saying. Who you got?
I have Canelo by stoppage. Canelo by stoppage.
I mean, that could happen too. I mean, if Canelo, you know, really pushes it, he could. But Canelo's not that violent kind of person and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's not really like that. You know what I'm saying? He's not really a real busy fighter like a David Benavidez or some shit. You know what I mean? He's not like that. You know what I mean?
But I think the reason why Canelo hasn't stopped a lot of these guys is because they're just bigger. They're big. I mean, even Berlanga.
Yeah, for sure. Big. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's at 168, and that's super middleweight. So all the guys up there, they're all fucking huge compared to him. You know.
Yeah, but not Crawford. But not Crawford.
I mean, it's Terrence Crawford can't be that much fucking smaller. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's smaller. A little bit smaller, maybe?
But not by much.
Same size? But
fucking what?
Well, let's say the same size.
By like 5 pounds or something? You know?
Well, I mean, I don't know what he's walking
like since when does size even matter, bro? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
when does size ever matter?
That's why there's weight divisions.
Never.
Okay.
Not where I'm from. Shit.
All right.
Shit, where I'm from, we talking with anybody. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
I agree with the caller. I agree with him. Size was never an issue for me, man.
You know what I'm saying? Putting down chumps on me like that.
All right.
Hey, we finally find a guy who's like me, man. Size. I mean, you know what? For me, the harder they are, the harder they fall, man.
But
go ahead.
What ethnicity are you guys? I was just wondering. I was just curious.
Well, what?
I was like, what ethnicity are you guys?
I'm Puerto Rican.
Okay, right on. Okay, yeah, I was always just wondering this shit because
no,
you know what I'm saying. Like I wasn't sure like if that was like from where and shit. You know what I mean? But that's cool. Hell yeah. Hey, wait, you guys from Minnesota?
No. That's the phone call. The phone line. Anyways, we got a bunch of calls, man. But call back again next time. All right. Take care.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
See ya.
I like how you never correct this call. Like when they call you BDA and you just go with it. Then now he thinks you're Puerto Rican on top of that. So
did he say BDA?
Well, he had said that earlier, but then on top, no. What I'm saying is you never correct that. Now he really thinks you're Puerto Rican.
I was trying to say I'm Mexican. I was trying to say I'm Mexican, but I don't know. There's a problem with the connection here. That they can't hear me.
There's a problem with you.
Probably. If I say I'm Puerto Rican, then I'm not. James says in the chat, Bucho hates being Mexican.
Bucho, when you're...
Yeah.
There's a lot of static. There's a lot of static when you start talking. Maybe it's just my side.
BDA, do you hear a little static?
Yeah, but that's because you're using the lining thing.
All right. Anyways, guys, we got more phone calls. People have been waiting here. We let's take the phone calls. 612, you're on the air. 612.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? You're on the air.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, as far as the Canelo and Crawford, I don't really want to see that. I'd rather see Canelo just finally fight Benavidez, because Canelo is a legendary fighter. He's beat everybody. He's undisputed. And it's like there's really nobody else left for him to fight but Benavidez. Because, Benavidez, he was trying to unify at 168, and he had to fight Canelo to do that. And Canelo had won all the belts, and then Benavidez became next in line to fight, but Canelo would never fight him for whatever reason. To me, that's the only fight Canelo should do, and then he should retire after that. He's beat everybody. There's nobody left for him to fight. It don't make sense for him to fight younger guys. The young guys should fight each other. Crawford is too small for him. He's a 47, 54-pounder. You're a 68. Technically a light heavyweight because he's fought at light heavyweight a couple of times. So it don't really make sense for him to fight Crawford. That's just a money thing. If that fight does happen, that's just money. But Canelo should just finally just say, fuck it, I'm going to fight Benavidez. Benavidez can be Ivan Drago to Canelo's Rocky, like his last fight. Mm-hmm. That's what Canelo should do, not waste time fighting a guy that's too small for him.
Why do you think Crawford is calling out Canelo?
I believe it's money. For what I understand, is Crawford, although is wealthy, at the same time, he's been taking fights where he wasn't paid as much as he would like. So I'm hearing that if he fights Canelo, he can get like a huge payday, very similar to Jermell Charlo. That was the biggest payday he ever received when he fought Canelo a few years ago. And I'm hearing Crawford is trying to do that because fight-wise, it doesn't make sense. Canelo is in a different, much heavier weight class. Canelo doesn't even really want to do this fight. He's just doing it because I guess the Saudi guy is offering a big bag, and who turns down a lot of money? So Canelo's like, fuck it. But he don't even really want to fight Crawford. He's not even really interested. He's doing this simply for the money. So this is a money fight.
So
but the real fight...
Yeah, against Benavidez. Do you think Crawford doesn't believe that he can beat Canelo? So he's willing to take a loss just for money?
Well, stranger things have happened. It would be strange if Crawford came from that angle, pause. But that would be my guess, because it doesn't make sense. This guy's a 68/75-pounder. You're a 47. Really, your best weight class is 47. You go to 54, and you did your thing there. Now you're going to move up 2 more weight classes to fight a guy who's technically a light heavyweight as well as a super middleweight. Your first fight, as experienced as Canelo is at that weight class, and you're expecting to win, that's a big ass mountain to climb. Would you agree?
No, I agree. I completely agree with you. I think there's a size difference. But if Crawford really wants to do it, and he says he's doing it for legacy, or then let him do it. But I agree. I don't really want to see this fight. But it is what it is. Caller, we got to move on, but thank you for calling, all right? Take care.
I appreciate it.
All right, let's take another phone call here.
Bucho.
Huh?
No, it's amazing. You don't want to see the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I say I don't want to see it. Then I say I want to. Actually, yeah, because I'm contradicting myself. At some point, I said I want to see it just because we can have a lot of content for the channel. But 505, you're on the air. 505. Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my thing with the Crawford Canelo fight. You guys ready?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, cool. I just think, on paper, it could be a great fight. It could even be in a classic. My only gripe with it is that Crawford not having any like fights at 168 to get acclimated to the weight class. I think that would be, a better move for him to kind of just test out the waters, and just the leap from his weight class to 168. Like, it just doesn't seem like the odds would be in his favor, considering that, like, not having a fight at 168. And there's some good scalps there to be had, all things considered, like, he could fight Munguia, off of his performance, but as like just looking at it through that lens, like, I would definitely like to see him have at least one fight at 168 before actually trying to, to fight Canelo. He's undefeated at 168, and then just the fact that, he is the smallest, 168er in the division, and it just, I don't know, man. It just seems like an uphill battle. And I heard you mention, like, I think just given, like, Crawford's age, where he's at in his career, like, I think this is just a Hail Mary. You know what I mean? Maybe he's putting up his own, but who knows? The guy is the one actually pursuing the fight, He wants to fight, and, in his heart, he believes he could win. And I respect it. I don't mind seeing the fight.
We don't know
that's my only gripe with that. I'm sorry?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, we don't know what's happening in Crawford's head. Maybe he actually does believe that he can beat Canelo, and on top of that, he gets a payday. Or maybe he doesn't think that he can beat Canelo, but it doesn't matter to him because he's going to get that payday. So we don't know. We don't know. I think Crawford, the way I see it, is this guy, he does believe in his abilities, and he does think that he can actually beat Canelo. That's just my...
Yeah. But all things considered, like, the odds are definitely stacked against him for sure. But moving on to, like, the Benavidez part, like, these last couple callers, and, like, Canelo's last knockout, I believe, was Caleb Plant. Which, it wasn't like, it wasn't a while ago, but all things considered, like, the dude's fighting undefeated fighters that are, pretty in their prime, And to me, I just think it's ridiculous that we're even still talking about this possible fight, because, first of all, David, he's already at 175, and he's made it very clear that he's loyal to the PDC and him, and the way he talks, like he's the A side, I just don't see, like, them coming to terms to make the winner of the Archer Benavidez and Bivol fight. I think that's cap. I think he more than likely is going to go to fight Zurdo, and we're just going to see a rinse and repeat of what we saw at 168. Because to me, like, I wanted to be a fan of Benavidez. I really did, dude. But, like, I just wanted to see what had happened after the mandate. Because he, like, from what we know, is that he had an obligation to either stay at 175 or be the mandatory at 168. And outside of that, that's, like, the closest, like me just, like, endless research, like, that's, like, the closest the fight has ever got to being made. Because other than that, it's just him behind the camera saying that he wants to fight. And I just really wanted to see what was going to happen, man. I felt like he should have stayed down there if he really wanted to fight. But since he requested to fight, Oleg, that was like just the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I'm like,
yeah, well, he moved up in weight. He moved up in weight, but Benavidez moved up in weight because he said that he wasn't going to get the Canelo fight and that he was looking to fight the winner of Beterbiev-Bivol. But now, like you said, he's coming up with these things. Like, he's saying that he wants to fight in Las Vegas, only Las Vegas or something like that. To me, that's starting to sound like some future excuses.
Yeah, there's definitely excuses. I mean, but again, did you hear about when the sanctioning body gave him, they even gave him a 2-week extension to make like right after that Malik fight, the Alexander fight, the game, because I could be wrong. I don't know if somebody can correct me on this, but I believe with that sanctioned body, you cannot have what is it? You can't be you can't be a mandatory for two different sanctioned bodies at once or something, or the same one. I forget, but I remember that being like the underlying reason why they gave him an obligation to either stay at 168 and be the mandatory or stay at 175. And it just really kind of just like, I was like, well, fuck, man, I really thought that he was going to stay out to see it through. As a fan, I wanted to see that through. And now I'm kind of thinking that he's going to do the same shit at light heavyweight, where he's just going to, like, he's going to be like, clout chasing Canelo, and then he's going to do another, like, thing with Archer and Bivol. And I don't think he's going to take that fight, man.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't think he will either. But depends on what happens on February the 22nd when Beterbiev fights Bivol again. If both of them look like trash, or something like that, maybe he'll want to fight the winner. But if they both look dangerous, he won't fight them. That's my opinion. Anyway, caller, thank you for calling. Call back again next time. All right. Take care.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Okay, we don't have any phone calls, so we're good. We're good here. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit the like if you want us to continue with the show. Let's see how we're at with the likes. We're at 75 likes. Let's get to 95. Come on, we can do it. Hit that like. Hit that like. I see one like. That's great. Also, if you want to support the show, we are using Buy Me a Coffee, link in the description and the chat. And yeah, let's get back to the panel here. Guys, what do you think so far about what you've been hearing from the callers?
Well, two matadors said that who's gonna take the plunge? Who's gonna bite the bullet, Bucho or BDA, by wrestling Terence Crawford for an interview? You know what? I say, I know, Bucho, I know you've been jumping at the bit to wrestle with Crawford. Yeah. I think we should send Sobers as a special correspondent. He should do it, and that way he gets more privileges here. Come on, Sobers. Hey, listen, Sobers, if you wrestle Crawford, this Halloween I'll finally do that special Second Renaissance episode in the cemetery.
Sounds like a deal, bro.
There you go.
You're gonna get sacrificed.
See, negotiation 101.
Do I have to wear a triple G string?
Jeez, Luis.
But okay, so some callers are saying this is a complete mismatch. We had one caller say that it's a 50-50. No, it's a 60-40 fight type of thing. Like Crawford has a good chance. Weight divisions don't matter. And then I think most callers said that Crawford has no chance. So what do you think?
Well, I'm curious. Like, I'd like to ask the people who are saying that this is a mismatch. I want to get their opinion too on what's up with all these insiders and former fighters picking Crawford. So what are they seeing? Because again, I'm not saying Crawford can't win, but they're so sure about it. But as I've mentioned before numerous times, is what is it that Crawford does in there that's making them think he's going to outbox? And some people are even saying stopping Canelo, or Shakur Stevens. Now, listen, again, I know Shakur Stevens is going to say these things because he's Crawford's. He's part of the Bud Buddy crew. Mm-hmm. But he says he washes Canelo. Washes.
Why? And these are a lot of these people. They're former boxers and trainers and people who've been around the sport for a long time. I don't understand.
Well, honestly, I don't think it's too much of a. So Terence Crawford is he sees something in Canelo he feels like he can exploit. He's taller than him. He's longer than him. He's shown how much he weighs in between fights. He can get up to 180. When they get in the ring together, I really don't think there will be 10 pounds between them. I think it'll be somewhat even fight. The big difference will be the caliber of opponent that they've been facing, right? Canelo's been fighting much bigger guys. And I said this shit before. People give Canelo's attributes, they give him to Crawford, right? They act like Crawford's fighting these bigger men in these weight classes. And, oh, my God, he's a little guy knocking out bigger guys, because he beat up Sean Porter. After the PBC ran a train on him, he was the last one to hit it. You know what I mean? But then they'll see Canelo fighting someone like Jermell Charlo or Munguia, And they're like, oh my God, Canelo's cherry picking. Look at these little guys he's bringing up to see him. Like, it's like and when you see them in the ring, dude, it doesn't look like that. So it's like this weird cognitive dissonance, you know what I'm saying? And they act like what Canelo's doing is what Crawford's doing. And that's why they say they think Crawford can win. But I think it's going to be more a bit of an even matchup physically when they match up. Because Canelo's not a big dude. He just does big things.
Well, that's the thing.
And they hate it.
Right. So people are saying that Canelo is much, much bigger. He fought at that heavyweight, but we saw him at that heavyweight. I mean, he fought at Kovalev that was drunk and dehydrated. Then he fought Bivol as well at light heavyweight, and he lost that fight. So he's not even a light heavyweight. So obviously, right? So then let's bring Canelo back down to 168. Even at 168, he looks small. Oh, he is small. Listen, look, he is fucking small.
He's not really even supposed to be at that weight class, which he really should be like at 154, 160. But his skill level is high enough so that he can compete against these bigger guys comfortably without having to kill himself to make weight, like a lot of these other boxers do.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Canelo he's good enough to beat these guys. Now, is Caleb Plant a Hall of Famer or something? I mean, I don't think so. But Caleb Plant was still a champion. Just like, we give credit to Crawford for beating Madrimov. He beat a world champion, blah, blah, blah. Well, same, Canelo.
He beat the great, what was that dude's name? I already forgot his name.
Postol.
Lunga? What was his name? The guy he unified against.
He fought in Dongo to unify. He fought Postol at 140, right? Oh, those are champions. All giving credit. He fought a champion. Of
course.
But Canelo also fought champions at 168. And with a size disadvantage. Which is my point. There's a size disadvantage in Canelo's fights all the time. At 168 and above, obviously. So how big is Canelo really? He's bigger than Crawford, but not by that much, in my opinion. I think he beats Crawford not because he's just that much bigger. I think he's better. And he's harder. And he's going to stop him. Not because he's some giant. He's not a fucking giant, guys. Crawford has a longer reach. Some people are saying that Crawford is that much better, much more skilled. I really don't say. I agree with BDA. I think Canelo has more skills. And you're gonna ask why do you say that? He's been fighting bigger guys and winning for the most part. Go ahead, BDA.
Yeah, but it's when you hear these professional boxers speaking Crawford over Canelo, but then you really listen to what they're saying. This is what most of them are saying. I think Crawford's just better. Okay, or what? Then they'll go, well, Canelo struggles with movers and he's flat-footed. Therefore, Crawford's going to win.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I don't understand this whole flat-footed. So he's flat-footed. So because he's flat-footed, shouldn't all these other guys be beating him then? Shouldn't Kelly Plant have outboxed him? Billy Joe Saunders outboxed him? I mean, it's just the flat-footed thing is because he's planning himself to get power. He doesn't. Why would he need to be on his toes if he's backing guys up? You don't necessarily need to do that. I mean, sometimes like a guy like Lomachenko will do that. Sometimes he'll do that in and out. But for the most part, he's flat-footed too because when he starts punching. That's it. That's what Canelo does. He doesn't need to be moving in and out because he's got that tight guard and that head movement. So it's the same thing with that. So so Crawford, what? Crawford is that good at controlling people? I didn't see a lot of controlling going on against Madrimov. In fact,
he's Rain Man, BDA.
Yeah, he's doing the calculations in his head, right? That's exactly what he's doing. Ask Sean Porter. Crawford, when he fought Postal, that's one of the few fights where he actually had to go on the back foot for consistent periods of time. And I think he won that fight, but it wasn't the schooling that people make it out to be. See, this shows me that a lot of people don't even watch the fights. There were long periods of that fight where Crawford wasn't doing anything. He was just doing just enough to beat Postal. That's it. And one of those knockdowns, by the way, people want to talk about the Benavidez knockdown being invalid because he actually got hit in the wrist, whatever. If you watch that Crawford Postal knockdown, the first one, he cuffed him behind the head. It's not a knockdown. But good old Tony Weeks, we know about that guy, called it a knockdown. Now, the second one, I got no complaints about that. He hit him with a hard left hand. But the first one, so it was a closer fight, a more competitive fight than people make it out to be. And that's Victor Postal. And again, it's just a bunch of frivolities that I hear from these professional fighters when they pick Crawford. Oh, Crawford's just much better.
Well, the skills,
and and Canelo doesn't do well against movers. It's like, I don't know. I remember, I think, who was it? Was it Thunderdome who was playing the clips from Andre Ward back in 2019 saying, well, I think Canelo should fight a guy like Billy Joe Saunders or Callum Smith. See how he does against movers. Then he beats them, and now he goes on the Breakfast Club. He goes, well, Canelo's been very selective about who he faces. So which one is it? Like, it's never enough. That's the thing. It was never enough with Pacquiao. It was never enough with Mayweather. It was never enough with De La Hoya. The A sides, they can never fully satisfy everybody.
BDA, are people underrating Canelo's skills?
Absolutely. I mean, again, you ask most people, a lot of people out there who the ones who are picking Crawford, go, well, what does Canelo do well? Nothing. No, I mean, he's strong. He's winning because he's strong. But like you say, he's fighting bigger guys out there. So how strong is he really? And again, I reiterate what Gonzalo said right after the John Ryder fight, because I didn't really see it against John Ryder. I didn't like the way he fought one punch at a time. But then Gonzalo actually made a great point of, well, he's moving forward one punch at a time, backing these guys up and barely getting hit. That takes a lot of skill. I mean, when Mayweather was fighting later on in his career, one punch at a time backing up, people call that a masterpiece. But Canelo does it moving forward, all of a sudden, that doesn't take any skill. It's just strength.
He needs to become a volume puncher now. All right, we got a phone call here. Let's take it. 267, you're on the air. 267.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I agree with what you're just saying now. I don't think, I'm not the biggest Canelo fan, but he doesn't get enough credit. Because he does have, his style changed. He was smart enough to change his style as he got older, as he got slower. I mean, he was probably at his best, like, between time of the second Triple G fight and his run at super middleweight. But he fights totally different now. He's a little more settled in and has to rely on his durability. And he doesn't get enough credit for his footwork because he might be a little bit slow on his feet, but yeah, like Berlanga and Jermell Charlo, those guys were kind of determined not to get hit, and Canelo was still able to cut off the ring and isolate them and land. So it's not like he can't isolate a guy that's trying to keep away, and Crawford's going to have to be able to keep away, and I don't know that he can do that for 12 rounds and still carry Canelo's punches because, I like Crawford. I think he's a great fighter, but, it's only a matter of time in that fight where Canelo's going to connect. And, I mean, we've seen Crawford's been hurt. He's been visibly hurt before, so I don't see how he can go 12 rounds and not get hurt.
Why do you think Crawford is doing this or wants this fight?
Well, because I don't think he, since the Spence fight, I've seen interviews with him, and he said it himself. He's not really. It'd be great for the fans if he would have beat Spence and then committed to going on an undisputed run at 54. That would have been exciting to see, but I don't think he was really willing to commit the time that it would take to do a campaign like that. And he said himself, he's only got a couple fights left in him before he walks away. And a guy like that's not going to want to end his career by fighting like Sebastian Fundora or something like that. Some unification fight at 54, it's not really like a big fight. But if he gets in the ring with Canelo, another fellow pound-for-pound fighter, he doesn't have anything to lose. Because the only thing that he has that he does have to lose, he might get hurt. But, I think he's a good enough fighter where he can keep himself from getting hurt too bad. But if he fights Canelo and he loses, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change his legacy. He's still only one of three fighters at two-division undisputed in the four-belt era. Mm-hmm. He's a four-division champ now with the belt at 54. If he loses, he lost to a bigger guy who's another fellow pound-for-pounder. He walks away, he gets a huge paycheck, and it's like one big last hurrah for his final fight. He doesn't really have a lot to lose. His legacy is set.
That's true.
It's worth it for him, as long as he doesn't get hurt.
And Canelo, does he win anything?
Well, he doesn't get anything, but he doesn't lose anything either, because same with him, his legacy is set. And everyone knows he's going to fight who he's going to fight. And he just wants, he's, so to speak, he's paid his dues, and he's made no secret about it. He only wants big money fights. He wants to make as much money as he can before he finishes. And if he loses, it might be a little bit. I don't think he'd be worried about it. I don't think he'll worry about it. People will talk shit about him, but no more or less now than they talk shit about him for not fighting David Benavidez. Regardless of what side you're on that discussion. But, I mean, I don't think Canelo gives a shit what people say about him.
All right. Well, thank you for calling. Call back next time, all right? Take care.
Yep. All right.
All right. Let's take another phone call here. 847, you're on the air. 847.
What up, man?
What's up? What's on your mind?
So I was thinking, they're both trying to cash out, basically. I keep seeing on X that supposedly now Canelo's going to face Jake Paul in May, which is obviously a huge joke, but it's going to make him a shitload of money. And then to beat Crawford at the end, he's going to give a shitload of money. Who knows? Maybe he's going to retire at the end of the year. We don't know. I would still like to see the Benavidez fight. I think he beats Benavidez, but that's whatever. And Crawford is definitely trying to cash out because I follow him on IG, and after, he got a nice payday from the Spence fight. He built a brand new home, built it from scratch. Well, he spent the money on building it. Now you got to maintain that property. So trust me, he's looking for a payday. So it just looks like both fighters are cashing out.
So you're not interested in this fight, right? At all?
I mean, I'm going to watch it, but, I do expect Canelo to win. Saying Canelo versus Paul like that happens, man. I mean, that's the rumor right now. I've been seeing it all over X. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Do you think Crawford thinks that he can win this fight?
He's probably going to make himself believe that he could win it, but
okay.
I don't know. I mean,
we don't.
I don't expect him to win at all.
All right. Anything else, caller?
No, man. Thank you, guys. Great show. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Take care. All right.
Hey, I want to know more details about this.
Oh shit.
Okay, I will say this: if Canelo in his mind thinks it's going to be an easy fight, which I don't think that he will, then I wouldn't necessarily think like that. Just because you just want to train as hard as you can and not take this guy lightly, because that would be a mistake.
Yeah, that's true. No, he has to take him seriously. I think Canelo's a true professional. I never seen him come into a fight where he looked like he didn't train properly. But that's just me. Maybe there's a fight I'm forgetting. We have recognized the Matrix. I don't know if you're there. You can jump in.
Champ is here.
Yo.
The champ is here.
Yeah, I'm ignoring that. So
did he say the chump is here?
I see that. I can see that you're ignoring it. See that.
Wait, did you give us your thoughts on the Benavidez Morrell fight?
I believe I did. Yeah, I was a little under the influence, but I gave it.
Oh, you called in.
How come you didn't ask me that shit?
Oh, okay.
I knew it. He called in and he was like, I told him, hey, man, I mean, you keep talking so much shit, you're going to get slapped. He goes, go ahead and do it, baby. Come on and do it. Like, he's
the Cuba.
Make your move. So make your move.
Make your move.
Yeah.
I'll slap the fuck out of you. You better come on and do it, baby. Come on and do it, baby. Come on and do it, baby. Come on and do it, baby.
What the fuck? Come on and do it, baby.
Yeah, do it, baby.
Come on and do it, baby. Come on and do it. I give that little old man credit, right? Like, he wasn't scared. He's like, come on.
Sounds like he's asking to get cream-fied. What the hell?
He's one of those guys that, once they get hit, it's like it's over. Like, they shut up.
Yeah, they start acting they start acting all dramatic.
You hit me.
You hit me, sir.
Yeah, you hit me.
I'm an older man.
How dare you?
I'm an older man.
How dare you? Anyways, let's see if we have any phone calls. Nope. Guys, call in if you want.
Can I give a rundown of that fight, though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you didn't give. Go ahead.
I would say so. I think it was a good fight. It was a dog fight. You know, Morrell was really hanging in there tough at the beginning, but he seemed to fade a little bit. But he was landing some shots on Benavidez that were sending him in different directions. So he was landing some really hard, impactful shots. He even shook him in the 4th round, right?
Yep.
But I think Benavidez showed a lot of grit because he never really stopped swinging either. So he did look visibly hurt for that one moment, but he came back with the combination. So I don't want to say he's going to be absolutely bad at this weight, you know, but that was really another 168 guy. I don't know if he could beat Beterbiev and Bivol just yet. His power seems to be lacking a little bit. He was hurting Morrell here and there, but it wasn't enough to make him wobbly. And I don't know, bro. Like, the impact that shots have at 175 just don't seem the same as they were at 168. Maybe it's because the guys are a little bit bigger. They're wearing them better. But I see, like, Benavidez going, God, like, he's throwing everything into it.
Yep.
And, you know, Morrell kind of just took it in the shell, you know?
At some point,
yeah, go
ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, what BDA said the other day was, I agreed with him a lot. You know, he was saying that David's guard is pretty dynamic. He was catching a lot of shots on his forearms. You know, he knows how to throw his arms out there. And, he was, like, blocking a lot. And I don't think that knockdown was legit. It looked like a push. He kind of pushed him behind his arm, and he tripped over his leg. So I wouldn't have said that was I wouldn't say that was a knockdown.
Sobers, if you look at that round, Morrell was winning that round. The 11th round?
That was like the 11th, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually winning that round. I thought he won that round.
And then they took a point. That was kind of grimy.
Yeah.
I think the right guy won, right? Well, I was just going to say, bro, I think the right guy won. And him with Bivol and Beterbiev, they must see what we see. We don't think he could beat him. But I see something he doesn't see. I don't think he could beat Gilberto Ramirez either. Right? So I see all these people like still bringing up Canelo. This dude's talking about going up to a whole nother weight class. So it seems like that dude's in his rearview mirror. And if he were by some chance to get that fight and to go down to 168, he's gonna look like a zombie, and all you're gonna be mad as fuck when Canelo knocks him the fuck out. But, you know, he makes some shit. You're gonna be mad when he makes some shit his pants with the left hook to the body. You know what I'm saying?
It goes back to these choices that he made. Look, I want to see that fight. I want to see Benavidez and Canelo. But all this, you know, I was telling BDA on the last show, I still remember this, even though I was a little tipsy, but I remember saying he's been making bad moves. Like, what was your point of going to 175 unless you're going to become undisputed? And if that wasn't your thing, then why did you leave 168? And you know that he should have not left 168 because he's fighting another 168-pounder who's campaigning for the second fight at light heavyweight, and that was Morrell. So it's like, dude, I don't even understand your moves. I don't get it. Now, apparently, he doesn't even want to fight the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev, and he's thinking about going up to cruiserweight. Yo, this whole thing with him, it's looking real bad. And he's also starting to look like, and this is not a total knock on him, because I watched that fight for the second time, and I was more impressed by Benavidez and Morrell, to be honest with you. But he's looking like a hype job. With all this talk about him,
like
he's starting to look like a hype job.
He's not looking like a monster?
No,
I wouldn't say he looks just like a hype job, but I think I said this before. Recognize, look, this dude in his bones, in the bones of his career, he's a PBC fighter through and through. And we know the game with these guys, right? They stay on PBC, they're loyal to PBC until they can't be. You know, you said he said he would not leave PBC under any circumstances for that fight with Canelo. He's not going anywhere.
All right,
and
guys.
when they can't get nothing else to happen, they do leave PBC. And what happens? Jili Zhang, bang! You know what I'm saying? These dudes they fucking lose.
Now I'm gonna repeat this because you guys, I don't think you were here before. Turkey, His Excellency, has invited Benavidez to the Beterbiev-Bivol rematch, February the 22nd. So he's gonna be there in attendance. But Benavidez, after last Saturday's fight, he kept saying that he wants to fight in Las Vegas. He loves Las Vegas. It's like his new home. To me, it's starting to sound like a future excuse that he's going to be using. No, I'm not going to fight in Saudi Arabia. Or it has to be in Las Vegas, a PBC, or else it doesn't happen.
You know what?
Yeah.
The way you said it, you made it sound like Benavidez sounded like Donald Trump. I love Las Vegas. We're
I
gonna do
love
great
Las
things in
Vegas.
Vegas.
Great.
BDA, I I gave you an alley-oop for Zili Zhang, bro.
Oh, sorry, man. Well, I don't have the sunburn today. Which is
I'm telling you, there's something about Vegas. There's something about the air.
I love the Las Vegas people. Great people. What was I going to say? Guys, call in. Phone numbers on your screen. And also, if you want to please donate, what's it called? Buy me a coffee. And hit the like button. Hit the like. It really helps us out.
What kind of coffee, Mucho? 7-Eleven or Starbucks?
Hey, you know what? Starbucks too hipster.
The difference in price is
we have
significant.
Hortons.
We don't have 7-Elevens here in Montreal, but is it good, the coffee over there, or at 7-Eleven, or?
Oh, hell yeah.
It's good.
It's the best? Is it better than Starbucks?
It's good. Nah, no. But Dunkin' Donuts is better than Starbucks.
Really? Because here
so.
they got rid of all the
yeah.
They got rid of all the Dunkin' Donuts here. Now it's Tim Hortons owns the.
Yeah,
they got the corner market, the market corner with the donuts and the coffee. I don't even think that coffee is that good.
It's not. It's cheap though. But
I'd love to try some of that Dunkin' Donuts coffee. That's for sure.
Make Canada a state of America. It's going to be beautiful again. I'll bring Dunkin' Donuts back. I'll bring it back.
If they take over Canada, we'll have 7-Elevens. All right, let's take a phone call here. 323, you're on the air. 323.
Hey,
Go. What's up? He's gone. He didn't even say. That's all he said. I thought he was going to say something.
100?
That was Demetrius 100, yeah.
Nice.
You.
See? Who says that? Who says that famous people don't watch you, BDA? Huh?
Absolutely, they watch us. That's who they're listening to.
Well, if Demetrius Andrade is watching, that doesn't count as a famous person.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Like, is he really a star? All right. Well, what else can we talk about here? Guys, phone lines are open. If you want to give us your take on Canelo versus Crawford, apparently it's going to happen. They're very close to finalizing that deal. Call in. Let us know your thoughts.
It's a great fight. I mean, listen, I don't care about. I really think that is a money fight for Crawford, but he is playing with house money. He could come in there and give it his best shot and win. I just think it's going to be a big ask for him. ASK to beat Canelo.
Ask. Do you think he believes that he can? Okay, so you do believe he can go in there and win? Because some people are saying that he doesn't even believe he can win. He's just doing it for the money. But I don't think so. I think he does believe that he can win. And like Never Sober says, he's kind of letting you believe that he has seen some weakness in Canelo.
Look, when I say that I thought Charlo gave up the fight against Canelo, what I mean was
holy shit.
He tried in the beginning. He tried. It was that end of that second round or the last minute of the second round. You just got to pay attention. He gets hit with a body shot. And he stops trying to, with his lead foot, gain foot position. He stops. And he coaches it from there on out, like not to get knocked out.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I see the same thing with Crawford, man. I think he's gonna go in there and try to win. Like Charlo.
And then if it doesn't work.
Right. It'll be like, I just don't want to get knocked out.
Right.
Yeah. I think Crawford would do a little bit better than that, but not too much.
All right. Let's take a phone call. And guys, you can jump in on Discord if you want to talk to a caller. Don't be shy. 805, you're on the air. Oh shit. That was why would he fucking just say that and hang up?
Is that Black Chibi?
No, it's just Black Chibi. That's Black Chibi. All right, let's take another phone call here. 713, you're on the air.
Hello, thanks for having me on the show. Greg Terrible again. What is the Crawford Canelo fight? May or September?
September.
The September?
Yes.
Well, I favor Canelo because of the weight class. And
You know, people say I thought at welterweight, I thought Crawford would do better. Between Crawford and Mayweather, I assume this is a mystical match that Mayweather would get defeated by Crawford. But when Crawford moved up to 154, man, he won. But to me, it was a flat performance. He's getting old. I think he'll try to become a superstar at later at his age. Because I think he's going to be 40 soon. Was kind of a mistake, but I mean, he did the best he could. I mean, he had a major promoter, and then Canelo. And hopefully, he gets an opponent that'll help him out with the showdown of Crawford. As far as his weekend's fight, man, I don't think Benavidez is going to be the undisputed light heavyweight champ of anything. Because the ball, he moves too good. He's real fluent. He does a lot of combos. I think even if Canelo fights him at 175, I think Canelo is going to knock him out.
Jesus.
Benavidez, of course, he's a monster. He's going to destroy a guy. But I don't think I want to see any more power from Benavidez at this weight.
So
what about
what about a cruiserweight? What about cruiserweight?
I think he's done for at cruiserweight too. I think Zurdo is gonna defeat him too. I think Zurdo's good enough to beat him. At least Zurdo, he's been out of his comfort zone. His loss was the Bull. He looked better at cruiserweight, but he might even knock him out. I'll be honest with you. I think he's a better vehicle over a weak chin. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
He has a weak chin. I think that fight Morrell, I think he took it too soon. I think he was inexperienced because I saw Benavidez going to the body a lot and going upstairs. I didn't get to see the Pitbull fight. As far as Figueroa, he kind of sucks. But I'm glad Fulton's back.
Yeah.
But that's my take on the fight. Thank you for having me on the show and take it easy. Bye.
All right, thanks for calling. Take care.
Never like. Yeah, look, I don't think he's got a weak chin. Because remember, when he was a little kid, he was sparring Kelly Pavlik, who else? Triple G, all those dudes are punchers. And if he had a weak, yeah, wait. Well, if he had a weak chin, he wouldn't be all up in your face throwing punches. He's not even on the back foot. And remember, when he got clipped, he wasn't even attempting to tie up. So that dude believes in his chin because he's not tying you up and he's not running away. He's all up in your grill throwing punches, right? Especially if he don't hit hard. Dude, like, okay, that's a lot to risk for having a weak chin.
Yeah, I don't think he has a weak chin. I don't know.
No, I think he showed it in this fight. I was saying, like, Morrell hit him with some left hooks off angles that sent Benavidez walking in a separate direction after he hit him. He was walking forward, then he was walking to the left after he got hit. But he kept coming forward, and when he did get hurt, he got wobbled. He answered with combinations.
Right.
So yeah, he got grit. He's shown it.
Yeah, but
I feel like everybody in the audience thinks that I don't like David Benavidez. I'm glad he won. I'm glad he beat up that Cuban dude. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that him and Canelo are never gonna fight. Y'all love to see us kill each other. You're not gonna get it. Sorry.
What about Beterbiev or Bivol? Is that?
I would love to see him beat them. I would love to see him beat both of them.
Can he?
I would give him maybe I'm not sure. It would hard maybe after Beterbiev fights Bivol, if he wins, I might be able to perhaps give him an edge because Beterbiev is going to be losing something. Mm-hmm. After that fight with Bivol and after another year of waiting or 6 months, he's going to be losing a little bit of speed. And I think David's going to have a significantly faster hands, and he has a chin. He has a chin, and he has a good guard. So I think he might be able to hang in there, maybe get a decision. And Bivol, I don't know. That's a harder fight. But if you can crowd him and get those combinations in there, who knows? But if Beterbiev couldn't crack that defense, it's going to be hard for me to see David doing it with less punching power, but with more speed. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I would favor David to fight Beterbiev more than Bivol, to be honest.
Interesting. Some people say it was the other way around. But yeah, we'll see. And by the way, we'll see what happens February the 22nd when Bivol and Beterbiev fight. Maybe Beterbiev is going to look old all of a sudden. That's what happens when you're at that age for boxing.
You're 40, right?
Yep. Might pull
Yeah,
something.
we still get phone calls, or?
Nope.
Well, can I say this?
No.
In terms of some of the stuff coming up, the unfortunately bad news, Willie Hutchinson was going to be fighting on the Chisora card this Saturday. Again, Chisora is Wallin. I'm not that interested in it. Could end up being a fun, much more interesting fight than we were expecting. But at least it was Willie Hutchinson was going to fight Zach Parker in there. Now Hutchinson's out of it. Dislocated shoulder. Like, how the fuck did he dislocate his shoulder? Also, Eduardo Sugar Nunez is going to be taking on Masanori Rikishi. I don't know if it's Rikishi or Rikishi for the IBF super featherweight title. Now that Kasisi or Kaseishi, I don't know how you pronounce his name, pulled out of the relinquished his title. By the way, I've never seen that before.
Yo, he's straight. He shit the bed. He saw that little Sugar Nunez coming from BDA. He said, "You know what? Take the belt. I don't want it."
He turned diabetic, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he can't handle that sweet tooth.
That's right. The other thing is this. Naoya Inoue, we know he's going to be fighting Picasso next, possibly in the United States. Then he's going to be joining Riyadh season. He's going to be fighting in December if everything goes according to plan. If he beats Picasso this summer, then he will be going over to Saudi Arabia, taking a plane ride over there December, and he will probably be facing MJ Akhmadaliev or whatever his last name is. So, Inu is already set out. He's 2025, man. Let's see if it comes to fruition.
So, wait, when is Picasso when?
I believe in the summer in the USA.
And then December. Okay. Whoa. All right. That's interesting. I don't know. People are talking about Canelo against Jake Paul. I mean, guys, let's not believe everything we will see.
Hey, but you know what's interesting about that? Hey, we got Usyk, but Usyk is considered by a lot of people, including Ring Magazine, to be the number one guy pound for pound. He'd have to challenge himself to keep that crown if he wants. Then you got Beterbiev Bivol also competing for pound supremacy. Then you got Canelo Crawford. That's another thing. The winner probably gets into the top three or stays in the top three. So it's a lot of that's a lot of pound for pound supremacy challenging going on, man, this year. A lot of potential moving of the parts.
Do you think people would give Canelo credit if he beats Crawford, like a pound for pound?
I mean, I know Sobers is going to, and I'm going to be there with Sobers. All these professional fighters picking Crawford. He's much more skilled. He's too fast, and blah blah blah. So hey, let's give Canelo a little credit if he beats him.
So yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. I don't want to hear the kiki kaka boo boo afterwards, bro.
I don't understand these dudes that like you said, these ex-professional boxers picking Crawford like it's nothing. Do they understand boxing, or they just like they're supposed to be they're supposed to like hit a certain talking point when they're asked that question?
You know what I think they tell you, recognize, is you ain't never been in the ring before. You ain't never been in my shoes before. Stay in your lane. That's what Andre Ward would say. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Hey, Andre Ward, listen, bro. Wasn't for your boy over there, Jay Prince, you'd have got exposed a long time ago.
Oh, wait a minute.
Just being honest.
I think there's some bias coming from some of these people.
They're still in shock that Crawford was able to do what he did to Spence. But again, Chief and Jimmy were saying, look, this dude ain't the same anymore. Spence ain't the same. And they were Crawford fans. They didn't flip-flop one day to the next. They said it in the build-up to the fight. But everyone else late to the party. Right. Same thing here with Crawford-Canelo. We're seeing the stuff that says that Canelo should be the favorite. I'm not guaranteeing you he beats Crawford. What I'm saying is he should be the favorite. But people aren't seeing that. They're still in Crawford-Spence mode.
If Crawford would have defeated Spence by decision or something, I don't think they would be giving Crawford that much of a chance of beating Canelo. But the fact that he destroyed Spence, I think that elevated Crawford to the stratosphere. You know?
Do you feel a Spence fan thinking that Spence would beat fucking Canelo? You remember that?
When? Oh yeah. Of course,
remember
no,
before the,
yes.
Before the they all like, oh, Spence will beat Canelo and he'll do it pretty easily. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That there were people picking Spence. Yes. Yeah. Because I didn't hear it at first. Yeah. But yeah, there were people after Spence beat Mikey Garcia. That was the peak of Spencer Mania. And yeah, I remember there were people saying that the only guy who can stop him. I remember people saying Porter can't beat him, Thurman can't beat him, Danny Garcia can beat him, Crawford can beat. He has to go up all the way to 160 to get a challenge, and even then he'd probably beat Canelo in Triple G. That's what some people were saying.
Yeah, I think that Spence win for Crawford just drove people crazy.
If you're from that fan base, so there's a lot of people that think Crawford could beat Canelo. If Canelo beats him, then you can't have it two ways. Oh, he's too big. Well, going into the fight, you thought he was going to beat him.
But recognize that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show is we were saying over here, most of us picked Benavidez to win against Morrell and one of the big factors is Morrell is just too inexperienced, too green. Now that Morrell loses, the same people who picked him to win are saying, well, he was just too inexperienced. Well, why the fuck didn't you see that before? How come you didn't see that before? Now all of a sudden you see it. It's like you needed to see this guy get beat to finally say, yeah, okay, he was too inexperienced.
Right.
It's like people love to see, people all of a sudden they have these realizations, these path to Damascus moments after the fight. But before that, they don't want to hear
hindsight.
They're in their own little world.
So hindsight is 20/20 BDA. Everyone always knows what was supposed to. Everyone knew what was going to happen after it happened. You know.
That's right. And by the way, I meant road to Damascus, not path to Damascus. That's in the light Walmart version of the Bible. But yeah, you're right, Sobers. People see what they want to see, man. So same thing we hear with Crawford Canelo. It's the same people who are picking Crawford. Then they're not gonna give Canelo credit. They're gonna go, he was too big. Yeah, well, no shit, he's too big too. That's part of it.
Make up your mind. I say it. Make up your mind.
No, but look, I really don't think there will be 10 pounds between them when they get in the ring. I'm gonna keep saying it, and you're gonna see Crawford.
Sobers is just saying this. Yeah. Sobers is just saying this to keep the odds close, man. He wants to make money off this.
Yeah. Keep putting your money on Crawford. It's like, I was gonna say, I want to ask you guys, who's riding higher off that win over Errol Spence, Crawford or the Bud Buddies?
That's a good question, man.
The Bud Buddies.
The Bud Buddies, his fans.
Oh, his fans.
I think so, yeah. I don't know, man. I think, yeah, you know what? I would say his fans, because they can just keep on going with it. They don't have much to lose. Whereas Crawford, he started losing some shine afterwards. They put him on the shelf, and that's the PBC too, being assholes. Yeah, they do.
So he did like 2 months of a 2-month parade, didn't he? Or he almost he paraded the rest of that year after he beat Errol Spence.
Oh yeah,
he did.
Right,
yeah.
But it seems like the guys who believe in him, they're still parading around that win. Like, we didn't just see him have a hard fight with Vanderbilt. They still think he's going to be in there with the power he had.
He did the Olympic.
I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be a little fair to Terrence Crawford here. That fan base talked a lot of shit about him. They really, really did. And after he beat them, he didn't really go in the way I thought maybe he should have. I will say that.
It's kind of like this also.
He go
ahead.
He
a few years back.
He did it with a certain. I'm sorry. Let me finish this point real quick. He did it with a certain type of mannerism that was still cordial, but they did give him a lot of shit, and he shut their mouths up. He did. Like, let's just be honest. He silenced.
Right.
Well, this is like. What I recall is, okay, Terrence Crawford was always a good fighter down at the lower weights. He still is. I mean, but he didn't really have like a big fan base. I thought that most of the people, when Crawford fought Spence, they were rooting for Spence. Now this is how like Wayward and like all this stuff is not true that they believe in Crawford to beat Canelo, because now I think when Errol Spence went away, those Errol Spence are the Crawford fans now. They're just not admitting it. They flip-flopped. They flip-flopped. So now you're telling me now they're saying, oh, he beats Canelo, when at the time those same fans that flip-flop were the ones that's saying that Spence beats Crawford. So they're always changing their mind.
Yeah, he did have a little bit of what's it called? there was a splash there from Spence fans. Now they're picking Crawford to beat Canelo because they have to. It's like when they were picking, they were picking Benavidez to beat Canelo, but then when Benavidez fights Andre, all of a sudden they start rooting for Andre. They start picking him. So yeah, there's the same stuff with that. But it's true though. It's like Greg and I said, we can't forget it, man. It can't be understated how much crap the Spence fans were talking. It wasn't just, hey, it's a 50-50 fight. It's cool. No, it was Spence is going to watch this guy. He going to beat him up. He's going to. One guy going, I'm going to be talking so much shit. You guys are going to see it. And then the next day, when Crawford beat the crap out of Spence, people were making fun of him in the chat. He goes, what's with you weirdos? Always saying, oh, your guy lost. So you guys are a bunch of weirdos. He said, well, wait a minute. The day before you were saying you were going to talk shit. Because all of a sudden these people are talking shit. They're the weirdos.
Yes, you can. Yeah. Oh, guys, we have a phone call. Let's take a phone call just so they don't wait. 630, you're on the air.
What's up, BDA?
This is Bucho. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. About this whole Crawford thing and the Spence thing you guys talking about. So I was thinking when he signed to PBC, the 3-fight deal, nobody knew who was he going to fight until he announced it that he was going to fight Charlo. So my theory was that I think Errol Spence dropped the ball because he was supposed to win that fight, and he was I think the whole deal with the PBC, the Crawford fight was never in the picture. It was supposed to be the two Charlos, then go at it with Spence. Because they're all from Texas. They all had Derek James. And I think they would have built up that fight to be a mega fight. Because everybody was on Spence, that he was the best pound for pound and this and the other. But since they all got screwed up, I think Crawford kind of just, did what he did. And that's why I think Canelo, his last two fights, was kind of like a struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting take. So...
Because he was struggling because he fought Mogia, then Edgar Berlanga, people that are not even in the PBC, people that are in the zone. So it would make sense that Al Heyman will have his three top guys fight Canelo. I think those would have been three mega fights, and if everybody would have been on roll, Charlo, the big Charlo not going through his problems, and you know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think Jimmy had said something about that, right? That they really thought Spence was going to beat, or did he say that Spence was sacrificing? I forget. But somebody had said at one point that the plan was, like what the caller said, for Spence to beat Crawford and then put him in there against Canelo.
Yeah, I think that would have been the last third fight. And I think it would have been a good fight because all of those guys are from Texas. And I think they were both Charlos would have fought in Vegas. Then they were hyped up Spence and take it to wherever the Cowboys fight, that big stadium there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's my take on that.
Yeah.
What are you going to say, BA?
I think the other plan was that Spence was going to fight Thurman instead of Crawford in 2023. Remember that? There was a rumor at some point, or was it 2022? I forget. And that then if he beat Thurman, he was going to fight Canelo. But then finally they came together and they say, okay, let's make the Crawford fight.
Hey, BDA, you know who? Oh, I'm sorry, the caller's still on. Go ahead, caller.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, who threw that money in for that fight to make that fight where both guys agreed to basically 50-50, Crawford and Spence?
It's a good question, man. I think they lost. I'm pretty sure the PBC lost money on that.
Well, I know they lost money, but the money was there for them to agree to a 50-50. There was somebody put up. Right. I don't know how that worked out.
Yeah. Hey, wait, hold on. We'll answer that question, but caller, anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Thanks for calling. Take care.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't hear the caller.
You better behave now. Just don't let it happen again, all right?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
What were you asking? What were you asking?
He was asking about the money about.
Yeah. The money, because I remember leading up to the fight, there was always that who's going to get the bigger percentage. It was Spence, throwing ridiculous numbers out there a lot of times, and then they suddenly they both agreed to 50-50, right? And the fight was the biggest paydays of their careers at that time. So I'm curious on who put the money in to make it 50-50 fight, where Spence is like, yeah, I don't care what he's getting as long as he pays me.
You know what? It was probably a combination of Al Heyman and some of his promotional stooges. Those low-level promoters like Luis de Cougars. They probably pulled all their money together and said, listen, we got to make this fight, man. Because like Quentin Lassiter is saying in the chat, that was the year, remember, that was the year that the PBC was having their going out of business sale. They were trying to make these big events, even if they lost money on pay-per-view, because they were trying to get a deal with someone else. They were trying it was an audition. So, hey, look, we're making Garcia versus Tank Davis. We're making Plant versus Benavidez. We're making Crawford versus Spence.
And
they're losing money.
We have Canelo here.
Yeah, we have Canelo versus Charlo. I mean, just outrageous. But yeah, I think it's probably that. But like I said, they probably lost money with that event. Because I mean, like you said,
then Derek James. I'm sorry. Go ahead, BJ.
Well, you remember real quick. You remember Steve Kim said in 2022. He said that one of the reasons why the Crawford Spence fight isn't happening right now is because both guys want too much money, and they're not stars. They're not big attractions. So how the upper brass is trying to figure out how they're going to make this event profitable when they got to pay this outrageous amount to these two guys.
They didn't make a profit.
I don't think so.
No, and I find it funny that Derek James then parts way. Derek James and Spence part way after the plan blew up, or it seems that way, to get the big fight with Canelo. Then it turned into Crawford and Canelo.
I forget. You just reminded me. I forget that Derek James isn't with Spence anymore.
Yeah.
Wait, and by the way, how long was that fight? And is Errol Spence retired or something? Seems like that.
Well, I don't know if you saw the latest news from, I think, a week ago or two. For all of 2024, it was, Spence is going to fight Fundora. Spence is going to fight Fundora. When is he going to fight? They go, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Now, a couple of weeks ago, they just said that whichever organization is mandating that fight, I think it's the WBO or whatever. I don't keep track of this anymore. But they said, no, we're not going to allow Spence to fight Fundora for whatever title he's holding. Because they said, who the fuck is this guy? He's watching the horses go around in his ranch, drooling from his mouth, half out of this world. They're not going to sanction that fight. So yeah, he's been inactive. He's probably retired, and if he comes back, it's probably going to look ugly, man.
Yeah. He still says that he checks himself. Spence goes to the hospital. I don't know how many times per week or month or whatever for checkups.
He's in the insane asylum, dressed like a cowboy. Like, my name is Errol Spence. I'm a cowboy. That's what he probably
there's
is, man.
something wrong with the guy. I seriously
I was a
think
world champion. You know that? Like, sure you were, buddy. Time for night-night. Time for your night-night pills.
He's like, when I beat Terence Crawford, like, he's a fucking...
Yeah. Did you see me beat Terence Crawford?
The South will rise again. Like, what? He's got a trumpet. He's dressed like a Southern soldier with a trumpet. He's playing the trumpet.
When the South won the war. All right. Let's end the show. We've been here for like 2 hours something. Guys in the chat, thank you for joining us. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the show, and don't forget to subscribe to Patreon. It's free. Go to Patreon. Free content. And that's pretty much it. Check out our second channel, BDA Clips. I'm going to post the link in the chat as well. That's our second channel. Subscribe and have a good night. Take care. See ya.
Peace.
All right. I'll be back. Music.